we'll have to do a meetup before you leave.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pod by Night Sound SOS Season 3, Episode 32, you said?
Yes, correct.
Jesus Christ. We're in the back half, everybody. We're
Actually,
barreling
you know
toward the
what?
end.
Beb just messaged me behind the scenes, everybody. I'm behind on getting the videos to Bentham, so it is not Roll For It's fault. It is
He
definitely
just
Dot's
right
fault.
now.
Yeah, which is so
That's
funny. Right
funny.
before we started.
That's great.
Probably because he saw my tweet go live. I'm like, I'm going live.
So this
Like,
is
oh, yeah, I
this
need
is
that.
a Dot fault, but really, I think we can just blame the last few weeks of life. I'm blaming life.
I mean, it's been crazy for your life personally anyway, and even for us. Like, everybody's been busy, man. Life happens. It'll
Oh,
catch
and
up.
honey, you have excuses. Don't worry.
Yeah, no shit.
Absolutely,
Like,
yeah. And
God,
last week
don't
was
worry
a
about it.
charity stream, so I will get them. But it's Dot's fault.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, welcome
We
back,
just get
everybody.
spammed. Everyone yells at us. They're like, give us the
just
VODs. They're
means-
like drooling.
That just means people like the
Right.
show, and that's okay. Yeah, welcome back, and welcome to the show, everybody. We took last week off we took it off for charity purposes, which we did a charity stream on Sunday,
We raised
right?
like over $600.
That's awesome. Congrats,
Ooh,
that's great.
so good.
Phenomenal.
I played some Sims. If you missed it, I clipped at least 2 of the highlight moments.
Okay, I didn't see any of it. Can you just tell me one highlight moment that sticks out to you?
Yes, they paid to have Tracy and I role play Ollie.
What?
Was it a lot of stomping
clip
around
where
and dad
Bob's like,
jokes?
what?
so hard, and I can't keep my voice deep enough to really truly do justice to Ollie. And Tracy and I can't keep it together. It turns into a befuddled mess very quickly.
Can I hear that? I want to hear your best Ollie.
No, you have to go watch the clip on the Twitch channel. I'm sorry.
She wants the views.
Yeah, I want those views. Yeah, so that was probably a really great highlight. Is like people donated to charity to ensure that.
I have an idea. We should do like a
Sorry if I'm
one-off,
loud.
either for Patreon or just for fun, where you all just swap characters. And it's not like canon or anything, but you all just play each other's characters for just one shot, where you just get to watch. Maybe Bub gets to play like Ava, and Ava gets to play Dakota, and Dot gets to play Ollie. It'd be great.
Is my volume better now? People were saying I was mega loud.
I was
something.
about to say, yeah,
You're
they're
fine
saying
for
we've
me.
got some balanced stuff. I'm trying to. Let me see if I can get my mic where it needs to be. That looks a little bit
Hopefully
better.
it's good. Sorry about
You're
that.
Sorry about
good.
that, gang.
I probably shouldn't actually. No, you're fine. It's all good. Technology happens. That's
Yeah.
why the streams are so nice, because we have 4 hours if it happens.
Yeah, we just take our time. Well,
But
yeah,
yeah, welcome
so
back.
it was pretty great. You can go check it out. The rest of it is coming, I promise. But yeah.
And welcome back, Maggie. It's been a while since we've had you on. We've had times where we were going to have you on, and then, something I happened, had to get canceled, or things got shuffled around. But last time we saw Emmy, she made a deal with Rudy. She took Celia away. And then Ava decided to dip into dark powers to find Celia. So we'll find out what happens there. It'll be good to have you.
No trust, man.
Well, Ava, it's not Ava Ava trusts. Ava don't even trust herself. Let's be real.
Yeah,
Like she
it's
doesn't
true.
even trust her own decision making. That's how it is.
No.
It's true.
Where's the lie?
No, there is no lie. She went to go to the Witch of the Yards, and she walked away angry because the
She
Witch of the
did.
Yards
So
called her
mad.
out or something.
Not even like it was. Yes, that's true. But she was like, you don't realize how much we are alike.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
basically sisters. We're staring on opposite ends of the mirror here.
She's like,
And
no.
she was like, no, the fuck we're not.
Ava doing as Ava
I love
does.
that. It's great.
And welcome back, everybody, as well. Thank you for being patient with us as we took last week for charity
I'm
reasons.
so
And
excited.
yeah, this week we're gonna have a good time. But if you guys, the usual, if you want to support us, there's a plethora of ways of doing so, all of very valuable in their own way. Things like just joining the Discord and joining our community is huge. People talking about our show inside the Discord, which leads to fun conversations, is great. And you can just jump in. If you want to monetarily support everything we do at Pod by Night, you can do that at patreon.com/Pod by Night. Bunch of little bonuses. There's a whole folder now of after shows that you can access of the correct tier, where you can just watch all of our thoughts throughout all of the show and why certain characters may have made certain decisions if you've been curious. And of course, there's the community RP that happens within the Discord for those of the appropriate tier. But if you're not of the appropriate tier, you can still go read it. It's not like locked away where you can't read it or anything. You can see what's happening in the world. And if you want to support this show very directly, just subscribing here on Twitch is a great way to do it. It goes to paying and making sure that we get our art and our cast here. We also, of course, are able to access the VODs right away after you subscribe. So you don't, if you are behind and life happens and we can't get the VODs out right away, if you're a sub, you can just go watch them after that. And of course, you all have the emotes that come along with it. And I think that's about it. There's nothing big announcements or anything we have to make, right? No, not right now.
I mean, we should tell people that this week we are getting Cracked Crown back.
Yes. We record on Tuesday again. It's gonna be exciting. When does the first episode go back? When does the first episode go live? Do we know? Date yet? I know you have one. Probably,
as always, our podcast will release on Friday, so the edited version. The first 2 episodes, I think I've decided I want to not stream them and record them super secret. So you have to tune into the first 2 episodes on the podcast.
I like it.
Because some serious
that's a good
stuff's
way
going down. We're finally back in Chicago.
Yes, we're back in Chicago, and we're going to see where the story takes these characters as perhaps we're looking at, the latter chapters of their stories, or at least some of the characters maybe, or they all ingratiate themselves into Chicago and never go anywhere, or they fucking all separate and get mad at each other. We'll see. But that's about it. I think I'm ready to dive in. I don't have anything else I think we need to cover. I'm going to pause this on this side because Roll20 acts like ass on Chrome. There we go. Okay. All right. So if everything's good, let's go ahead and set the scene, rein things in, and see what Emmy has been up to. As our vision fades in on another clear night with a warm temperature sitting somewhere in the chill lower 60s, with sparse clouds crossing over an almost full moon, our vision pans down, but not to see the skyline of Chicago that we're all so familiar with, but a little further out, away from the city, more where you find the suburbs, family homes, quiet schools, and where people tend to go and start their own families. And it's in a nondescript house with an address we can't quite see that just looks like every other house nearby. That's where we come level 2. We move closer and slip under the crack of the door, greeting us with a finely cleaned carpet and the sounds of a distant movie or show being played. And as we make our way through the living room to the back of the house, past the kitchen on our right and a bathroom on our left, at the very back, there is a bedroom that's dark with flickering lights from an obvious TV. And as we swing in, Emmy, how would you keep your bedroom decorated in the place that you live? What kind of things would you have it strewn about?
You see one of those like princess beds with the canopies that is like slightly drawn but not. And the room is like filled with pink and white pastels with little accents of blue in various places. And then you can also see one of those little like canopies with a bunch of stuffed animals in them, and a few shelves that have really cute like blocks and toys that you would think that a child would have. And then there's like a little desk that has, crayons and little pieces of paper and colored parchment. I guess they don't call it parchment these days anymore.
No.
It's like
I'm sure Emmy slips
those
up every
colored
so often.
papers
Yeah.
that like you can just get like a ton of colors,
Like
and like
construction paper.
there's like scissors with those different types of scissors with different shapes, so you can cut different
paper
things.
and all kinds of things. Yeah.
And there's an armoire that is really beautiful, and it kind of matches the bed set and the desk set. And you can't see it or can't see what's inside of it, but you assume that there's probably a bunch of dresses that are quite cute, and a little line of bows that are all different colors.
Of course, adorable.
Yeah.
So as our vision kind of comes in, we're looking at the top, and we slowly rotate around the room as the things that Maggie described come into our view, slowly bring our vision lower and lower until we're about eye level. And here we see Emmy, dangling her little legs over the side of the bed in a cute little dress, holding her lamb chop, I imagine, and watching whatever thing on TV she's interested in watching, whether it be a movie, a television show. Does she have entertainment she goes to that she likes to watch? Is she more into modern entertainment at all, or
What year is it right now?
In modern day, we'll just call it.
Okay. Uh, Perhaps maybe it's like Sesame Street that is playing on there.
We can probably
So
hear
you
Elmo
hear
being
the
run in
voice
the
of Elmo,
background.
yeah.
Exactly. And through even that Elmo, and he's counting up to like 5 at that point, you can actually hear the clattering of dishes in the kitchen that we passed through and mumbled conversation between what sounds like a mother and a father. And as that conversation goes for about 2 or 3 minutes, and Emmy is enjoying her show, there's a ring at the doorbell. The conversation stops, and you can hear the water squeak as she turns it off. And the husband says, "I'll get it." And he walks, you can hear the muffled footsteps and the door open. And you may make me a perception, a wits awareness check. Sorry.
Ooh, okay. Now I gotta remember how to do this again. Wits awareness. I gotta click awareness, not wits. Plus pool size modifier.
0. You can just leave it at 0.
Okay. I know that with my age I can add stuff sometimes, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can like rouse if you want to add, like, how important do you think it is? Do you have any specialties that you think would add to it? Probably not, I imagine. It's just a wits
Mm.
awareness.
I'll just do normal wits awareness. I think she's not expecting anything.
Yeah, no, she's not.
What's
As
the
far as you know, this will be
difficulty?
just another nice night. Maybe you're going to spend it with your family tonight. Maybe you're not going to go out.
Difficulty?
Go ahead and put a difficulty 3.
Ooh, okay.
It's over your
Ooh,
stuff.
3 out of
You hit it
3.
dead on. And while as the door opens and you hear a couple of voice going back and forth with another younger, more male voice, it takes a minute. You can't really understand the words, but you absolutely recognize the voice that's speaking to your father, and it's one of your, well, let's call him a mook. It's one of your mooks. You recognize the voice well. There's a brief conversation before you hear your father speak to your mother, and all of a sudden, your mother's footsteps are making their way down the hall, and she knocks on the door and peeks in just a little bit. Emmy, are you not busy, are you, sweetheart?
She dangles her feet and looks up and says, "No, I'm not. What's up?"
Oh, and she at that point will push the door open all the way, and you can see she's just wearing shorts and a t-shirt right now, walking around in socks that are mismatched at this point. And she just smiles. She says, "Oh, one of your friends is here."
Oh, yay. I always love when my friends come to visit.
She smiles and holds her hand out for you to take her hand.
She grabs the hand and jumps
she
off the
playfully
bed.
like pulls you off of the bed, lifting you off the ground. And I don't know if Emmy giggles or not, but she'll plop you on the ground, and then holding your hand, she'll walk you over through the hall up to the front door, where there stands 20-something-year-old, extremely muscular, deadpan faced, nameless individual who Emmy may not even know this man's name. He's simply looking, and as he sees you, he gives you a curt but kind of like subtle head nod and bow. And your mother walks you all the way up, and she looks over at him. He's like, "Now you kids go have fun."
Oh, we will.
She smiles and
She
ruffles
just
his
smiles.
hair that he doesn't have. Like keeps his head buzzed, but she reaches up and like ruffles his hair, and then reaches down and ruffles yours a little bit. And she smiles, and as you walk out, she shuts the door behind you, and you can hear the deadbolt lock. As he walks, he keeps completely silent for the most part for about 5 or so minutes until you reach a familiar looking park, one that you've made sure is relatively private almost every night. And as you arrive tonight, he walks around to check to make sure certain guards are standing where they need to be, or there's no strangers making out or wandering through the park. And when all is clear, he walks back and sits on the bench next to you. Um, I've come bearing some difficult news.
Well, I don't like difficult news. And you know what I do with difficult news.
What's awareness for me, please?
This one could I rouse?
Yeah, you're welcome to rouse any of them. Your call.
And
if you do, you add 2d10.
Looking for my rouse button.
Oh, where's the rouse button? I don't have a character sheet open.
I believe it's near your hunger.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in such a weird spot. Okay.
Oh, beautiful. You don't get any hungrier.
Sweet.
So you can add 2d10 to your modifier.
Let's add 2. And difficulty?
This is going to be a difficulty of 2.
Ooh, okay. 5 out of 2.
Wow, beautiful. You notice as you look up to him and he starts speaking, you can notice what seems to be a bruise on his jaw. And as he turns his head with a 5, you can see a lump on the back of his head. And as he just kind of, and you're like, I don't deal with bad news very well. He doesn't pause. He doesn't hesitate. He never does, no matter what the punishment may be. Celia has been taken.
Emmy puts her hands on her hips.
How?
A large individual came by asking to speak with her. Don't
And
really
you just
remember too
let this
much.
large individual speak with her? Also, there's many large individuals. Everybody's a large individual to me. So describe this large individual in more detail, please.
He starts to, you notice his breathing gets a little faster. He doesn't make his face remains stoic, but he's going to make a roll in an attempt to describe the individual. He did get cracked in the head really hard. He describes a large individual.
I'm about to make your boo-boos even bigger.
I'm sorry, madam. And he bows his head really low, extremely low, and doesn't make eye contact with you when he does so. It's hard to remember what happened. I didn't know that he was there, and when he left, I don't even remember what he said, to be honest. And then we got into a fight, and I blacked out.
And was anyone else there?
The other one on watch with me, he went down first.
And where is he?
Is he DEAD? No, right? No. Being tended to.
Well, I'd like him to be tended to over here. Bring him to me. Now!
He just stands up and gives you a nod and says, I'll be back in an hour. And he puffs off.
Emmy kicks the dirt and begins pacing.
An hour passes, and almost an hour on the dot, maybe a second less, you actually see a car pull up not too far away. And as he comes out, someone who's limping and being like held and carried over is made his way over. And he looks way worse, way worse. Bloody nose, missing teeth, broken bone. As he kind of brings him over, he tries to lift his head, but he's clearly drugged up on something in order to even move at this point. But he tries to make eye contact with you, and he's just like, Madam Emmy. And he bows his head, and it just turns to like a lagging head lag there.
And what do you remember?
I tried to stop somebody from coming in, and I think my head hit the wall.
Describe this somebody.
He's gonna
Can
try.
anybody describe this somebody?
He's not scared, but he's drugged up. He describes a large individual. It was big. He's wearing dark clothes. I don't good look at his face. It's just so fast.
Emmy holds up lamb chops and looks lamb chops in the eye and says,
It seems like nobody knows what this large individual looks like. So we're going to have to find them ourselves.
Do you do anything with them? They just maintain their heads kind of down. Do you do anything with the mooks?
tell me what would happen if Emmy told them to end themselves?
You'd have to use terminal decree. And if you use terminal decree, it would work. They would.
Okay. Are there like repercussions for her doing that, or?
Oh yeah, you'll take a stain or two.
Okay. Gotcha. I think
Your
she's really
humanity's at
mad
what
right now. It's the lit up boxes.
Yeah, it should be the one that you're
4.
I mean, it makes sense for Emmy. It's probably not a big deal for you to be like, your mooks come and go.
You definitely don't want to lose another humanity.
Going to 3 is very dangerous. You're approaching unplayable territory.
Gotcha. I think she's just very upset, but there's ways to like get into someone's mind, right?
You have a bunch of them.
think that
What do you want? What do you want to do?
I know she doesn't have a way necessarily to do that, but I think that she would be looking for somebody who would be able to assist her with that.
I mean, if you're looking for a hitman, you've got contacts, dude. You could just pay somebody, and that won't really incur a stain so
No,
much.
somebody who could get into their minds to figure out what they
Oh,
saw.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me hang on. Let me look real quick.
So they are useful for me to keep them
They
alive
might
right
have
now.
like something in their brains that you could pull out. But it would probably be, I mean, Tremere would probably be Emmy's first thought. Uh Even Toreador, not I mean, like Ava can have visions. That might she could there's an instant thought. Ava, if Ava could touch their clothes, she might be able to see who it was. She can do it too. She's done it plenty of times.
Mm,
She
okay.
just needs their clothes, them. She just needs to have something that was there, and she just needs to be able to touch them, and she can induce visions.
And I do have my Tremere friend who helped me change my hair color.
Yep.
Um,
That's a little bit more ritualistic. It'll take more time that way. It'll probably like she'll need things to gather for the ritual. But yeah, Tremere could also do it.
okay. Then I think that Emmy will reach out to her Tremere friend, but then also as a backup, be prepared to get Ava's assistance.
Yeah. Reaching out to your Tremere friend is it takes little effort. There's a respect for you that you've built over these many years living as an outcast amongst those who you find useful. And she agrees. She could help you. I mean, there's a level 1 blood sorcery ritual basically. It's just basically like tracking. Basically she could take that, bump it up more or less. But she agrees, but she does say it'll take some time. She has some things she has to take care of first. She could help you in about 4 nights.
Okay.
If you're fine with that, she will get to work on it, and we can move fast. We can move forward 4 nights if there's there's nothing you'd like to do in between.
All right. I suppose so. Well, I think obviously she would like to reach out to Ava at some point, but perhaps not yet. Primarily because of what Rudy said. Rudy said don't.
Yeah, I mean, and 4 nights is not that long of a time anyway. Vampires don't operate on troubling like 24-hour clocks most of the time. So 4 nights, you wait, and as promised, she comes through. I'm not going to go through all the roles of the ritual, but what we will see is as our camera fades in, you're standing on the outside of your home, but not with your nameless mook in this particular moment, but instead the Tremere who owes you the favor or who's willing to do you this favor. And what we see is the end of the ritual, where she seems to be letting go into the air. As our camera comes down, we see her extended hand. Some sort of red dust catch a drifting wind that isn't actually there. And it begins to whip through down the sidewalk and through houses. And she looks to you and she says, better keep up. And she starts following this thing as best she can and keeping up with it at a paces that she can. I mean, it's not going to be difficult. I'm not going to make you you don't have to sprint to keep up with this thing. But it is a long, long trek. This is heading into the city itself, and taking a car is just not possible with how this thing moves. You have to keep your eye on it, and the Tremere needs to be within a certain distance, and it's way too easy to get stuck in traffic or it dipped behind a house and now you can't follow it any longer. So you walk for about 3 hours until as our camera fades out and slowly fades back in, and we sit just above the building as we always do at this 45-degree angle, the familiar bar of the Lights Out pub. As it slips under the front door of the pub itself, she comes to an abrupt stop and looks over. Whoever it is in here. You know this place?
I do.
I'll take it then, and we're good.
Emmy puts out her hand and shakes it.
She shakes your hand, in a very tiny hand, in a rather large, normal adult-sized hand. She smiles and says, always a pleasure, Emmy. Enjoy your night, and whoever it is, go easy on him.
I will try my best.
She smiles, though she, out of respect or fear, you don't know, and she begins to just walk away on that. Do you
Emmy
walk in the
just
front door, Emmy, or do you go with round back?
looks around, and then goes in.
Front door? or back door?
Yeah.
As you walk in the front door, you are greeted with a rather busy room at 10 p.m. Of food, people eating food and drinking beer. But as you turn to see who's in the kitchen, we stop. And the clock rewinds 24 hours. And our vision flashes back to Chinatown as we watch Ollie awkwardly land back on his feet on the tar, as you have realized that Ava has not begun driving. And as you kind of get on your feet, does Dakota also shapeshift back to human, or does she stay bird form for the moment?
No, why would I shapeshift back? I'm a
No idea.
badass bird. Yeah, no, I'll swoop down and land on the hood.
Yeah, so the tink of the hood as you drop Ollie in front of the car by about 2 feet. We actually are inside the car. We see Ollie drop before we hear the tink tink. And we're just seeing the little bits of wispy shadow that are just vanishing before our eyes, before we see Ollie get closer and come into focus. And as we see him looking through, it's like we blink and now we're behind Ollie's shoulder. Ollie, you realize she's not in there.
Of fucking course.
I squawk at him.
You're...
I too want to scream into the void. Yeah. Fuck.
You look around, probably take maybe even an hour to see if maybe she's somewhere nearby. You know, you've seen shadow teleportation at work before, if that's your assumption, but you don't really know what happened to her. You know, she was going to induce a vision, and she asked for something very specific.
Where are we at were we next to the cabin? Where are we?
Yeah. Oh, were you in the? Yeah, you were at the cabin.
We were in the woods.
No. You were back from the cabin, and you guys wanted to drive into
deeper into Gary,
into Madison.
Oh yes, you're right. Sorry, Madison, not Gary.
I said Chinatown. It wasn't Chinatown.
My whole brain. Madison is where we're at.
You wanted to go deeper into Madison, and remember, there's a paranoid
Ollie
feeling.
and Ava wanted to go deeper into Madison. Dakota never wants to go anywhere near Madison. So I don't know. I look at Ollie and I ruffle my feathers like.
I don't fucking know where she is. I don't know where this shadow bullshit takes her. And I'm pretty much with you at this point. I'm ready to see all La Sombra just disappear.
Do you remember the vision she was trying to induce?
It was
show me where Sybil is.
Where Sybil is, yeah.
It was a group decision. It wasn't just an Ava decision. And she's like, I can maybe trying to figure out if she's here. And so she judged in. She said, show me where Sybil is. And a shadow hand reached out.
She's here. She's got to be here somewhere, right? It's not going to take her across state lines. She's got to be here somewhere.
Okay, hang on. All right. Knowing that, just let me. Okay.
Very convenient week for Ava to have made that decision. Honestly, now that she's not here this week, it's kind of perfect timing.
Yeah, that won't help me. I am a bird. I don't know what to tell you. I squawk.
Kind of wish you had just stopped your sentence there.
I'm
a bird.
I'm a bird. So Dakota kind of squawks, and I have no way or aspects to be able to see through to see if there's any other weird activity we can spot. So Dakota's.
If you have, you would need if you look weird activity in terms of thin veil.
Unveil something, but Eyes of the Beast won't do it, and I don't. Dakota doesn't have anything else for that.
Yeah, you need where the veil thins, or there's another one too that's more accessible. Oh, I think Ava has it.
We could. Oh God.
Where did the labyrinth spit me out in Madison?
God, I think it was near Matthew's house, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Is there something that I might be able to roll to try?
You're looking for an entrance?
Just to remember.
Oh yeah, if you're trying to do memory, that's usually intelligence resolve.
Okay, can I rouse for that?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. Resolve. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Difficulty?
I'll just give it to me raw. You don't have to put in difficulty.
Okay.
Ooh, 2 hunger.
4.
4, very nice. You take a minute, and it's been a while, years, I think, even at this point. But the you being spit out into Madison, I don't think it wasn't planned at the time.
No.
But it put you in front of Matthew's house. It was in the sewers under Matthew's house, and you came out of a manhole on the street of Matthew's home. It was in those sewers. You know, it was like in there. You came through like a little crack, if I'm remembering properly, because it looked like an exit.
She's not going to be in a house. And Madison is so podunk. They don't have any large structures. Not like what we have in the city. And look, kid, the only thing that I can think of is that she's below us. So I could try to run the sewers, but if my recollection is right, there was a time when, not that long ago, with the salubri, I was spit out in this area. I think there's labyrinth in, well, here. Give me a flap if you want me to check. 2 flaps if you don't. Okay.
I flapped twice.
I can
Dakota
read that.
hates this place. Do you know what? Dakota doesn't even. She gets down off the hood of the car.
Well, you're also to refresh too for the viewers as well, if not for myself. Last episode, also the memory fucking came back.
Dakota
So you
is
extra hate Madison.
Yeah, you missed it. Dakota remembered that her memory was wiped.
After 15 years.
After 15 years. Yeah, I go over and I hop off the hood down onto the pavement and I waddle over to the door and I open it with my beak and I crawl into the passenger seat and I close the door behind me.
You see a little bird head sticking out as we're on the outside. It's like, grabs it and pulls it shut. She's like, I'm going home.
This is some peacemaker shit. Seriously.
Yeah.
You're
It really
easily
is.
sitting in the passenger right now.
I'm just gonna just sit here.
I think I can read the body language pretty clearly. Ollie's not sure, he doesn't want to leave Ava, but he has no real leads outside of, I guess I could
what are you gonna
go hunting, and that could turn up nothing. So I think I'm just going to climb back in the driver's seat
Drive home.
and drive home.
It's not a terribly long drive. And the entire time, maybe hoping Ava will vanish back into existence, doesn't happen. And you arrive back to the bar late at night as the sun is only maybe an hour or so from rising. Say you're gonna, unless there's any brief conversation the two of you want to have, or do you just kind of quietly just kind of walk your separate ways?
We come back to the bar, I imagine you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emmy will be there. We're like the next night is when Emmy arrives.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, well then I'm back in Dakota form. No, I'm not in bird form anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I am so hungry.
Do you want to hunt?
Yeah, I probably leave Ollie in a bit of a very grumpy state coming out of
What's your
bird
hunger at?
form. 4.
Ooh, you're gonna have to roll hunger frenzy. All right.
Yeah, I'm very hungry.
Not a good night for that.
No, this is not a good night for Dakota at all. I like slam the car door. There's probably
And you
like
actually,
one
like-
feather that flutters behind me as I'm,
As she like slams the door, like you hear the creak and you just by the sound, the metal bent a tiny little bit. She definitely meant it, not by punching it, but just from shoving it shut too hard.
Yeah, I say oops really loud. As
She
I
walks away.
I walk off. Somebody, I'm gonna go hunt.
The car kind of like rocked a little bit. Go ahead and make me your hunting roll. Ollie, what do you do? You're not super hungry. You're at 2, right?
Yeah, I'm at 2. Ollie's just gonna go down to his room, I guess. If it's obvious, right? Like it's been a shit night, so he's going to provide, like levity provided. He's gonna give that space. Kindred need that. They need their space.
Yeah. Are you feeding 3 dots?
Yeah. I don't know who the
maximum
poor
amount. He's gonna
dude
need-
is, but
He's gonna need a hospital visit. I bet you at 4 hunger, are you even caring too much other than someone who's seeming kind of assholey and like on outside?
at this
not,
point,
like,
it's like, the first jerk that cat calls somebody or looks the wrong way at Dakota is.
yeah. So you do, and you feed down to 1, feeling much better with a much clearer head. They'll probably still kind of grumpy because the night sucked.
Did suck.
You head back to your boat, I imagine. Do you even head back to the bar, or are you just like, fuck it, I'll go back to the bar in the morning?
Yeah, if it, boo.
Or by morning, I mean tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's a great question. With Ava missing this way, I
The
don't.
sun's coming up in less than an hour.
Oh no, then
So
I'm
you know
boat.
you're
I'm
running out of
boat
time.
bound. Boat bound.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
You make it back in time, and the night goes by. May both of you make me a rouse check for the morning. Okay. 3 and 2. As you get up and things kind of get going, Jesus, I almost said fucking Cassie. What the fuck? Who is Cassie? Emmy is going to be walking through the door pretty early on in the evening, around like maybe an hour or two after the bar opens. But I imagine Dakota gets there before that happens. If you want to have now that like a more calm-headed conversation, you're
Yeah,
welcome to
Dakota
do so
probably
here.
wakes up realizing she was a little grumpy. It probably comes in like first thing.
Right on
Skateboard
the
in
dot
hand.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's Grant kind of cleaning. He looks over. Oh shit, you're early. Morning, Red. Well, morning for you. Maybe morning for me soon, right?
Is Ollie here?
Oh, yeah. Ollie, did you come up right away and kind of start working on things?
If I can, I'm gonna just I'd like to feed. I want to feed down to
absolutely,
one. If I
yeah,
can.
you went up. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make me a hunting roll.
Yeah. You got it.
You don't have a herd, right?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, you absolutely hunt just fine. You're not at 4. Do you feed down to 2?
Feed.
I mean,
I'm
you
gonna
feed
feed
2
to
off
one.
of them and down
Yeah,
to 1?
yeah.
Okay, cool. Ollie takes care of him as best he can. I'll have to go through the details of that as
Sure.
every time. And, so when Dakota, you get in and you say, yeah, is Ollie in? And he's like, oh, he went out. I think boss was feeling a little grumbly stomach.
Fuck. Okay.
No, so how's your night?
It's just started.
Right. How's it? Okay. How was last night?
The same as every night.
Is that good or bad?
It's complicated.
Like a Facebook status kind of thing?
What's Facebook?
It's a place where you basically complain about life.
That sounds nice.
Maybe humans and vampires aren't so different.
No, we're super different.
Goddamn.
No, sorry.
All right, whatever. And then as this is like the conversation is like reaching an awkward silence.
Yeah.
The door opens and Ollie walks in, feeling also
Oh my God.
much better.
Okay,
Hey,
before
boss.
you say anything, Ollie, just keep your mouth shut. I'm here to tell you I'm sorry.
You hear a little grumble from Grant, but he goes silent.
I was grumpy yesterday, but I would say that I had good reason. And I shouldn't have taken it out on the doorframe of the van.
What'd you do to the door frame of our van?
Nothing. It's fucking fine. It's fine.
So why are you apologizing?
Because I'm empathetic.
And aren't you always grumpy?
No,
But yes, right?
I'm feeling grumpier now that you're speaking.
One day, Red, you'll realize what a beautiful man I am, and I'll make your day better.
If you ever say beautiful man to me again.
When I'm a Toreador.
Ollie, I'm really sorry that I got grumpy yesterday. I've had, a lot nagging at me, and something about a suppressed memory of 15 years really just fucking spiral,
You see Grant's eyes widen, and he very much starts to scoot away, and starts getting busy, 2 feet further away from you.
My dad had his thing, Doc. Really hard. It took a long time to sink in, but sometimes when you move forward, it's all about water under the bridge.
Yeah, nothing like water under the bridge. So, how are you this evening, Ollie? I'm feeling so much better about all of this.
Hey, so what happened last night?
Nothing. Nothing happened.
Okay.
Have you seen Ava, Ollie?
I haven't seen a flick of a shadow. I got nothing.
Cool. Well,
I suspect we are going to have, in the form of Chicago, traditionally, some flavor of visitors soon. Because this is what happens when we're stuck sitting on our hands.
Well, we could just get up and not sit on them.
I gotta stop talking in sayings. You're right. But like, what do we do? We get a bloodhound?
No. Look, when has Ava Heloise not come crawling back through the door?
What happened to Ava?
She is on vacation. A much-needed one.
Oh, shit. Speaking of bloodhound, I gotta get out to Sunshi. It's the night.
What night?
I'm supposed to go back. She said, give me a couple of days, 3 days most, and
For
she'd
what?
have some info on the blood.
Oh.
And that's when, because no one's really paying too much attention, the kitchen door from the dining room swings open. And Grant snaps over and looks, is like, there's nobody there before he looks down. And Emmy is striding into the kitchen.
Well, look at that.
Hey, I am very busy. I gotta go.
Traditional Chicago fashion. A flavor presents itself.
I hope I'm a delicious flavor.
Probably like
Berry
bubble gum or
strawberry
something.
shortcake.
Okay, close.
But right there. What's up, Em?
You tell me. It seems like you're having a little meeting.
No, nothing official.
We hit some snags, as per the norm. But that's all right.
Nobody needed to know that.
Snacks?
This is the life of Kindred. We hit snags every day.
What kind of snacks? Maybe I can help you out.
Well, you know what, Emmy? You've been gone a while. How are you?
Oh my God, I just had an idea.
Oh, no.
So Grant comes striding over and just kind of proclaims.
Well, before you say anything, go somewhere else.
I just
would
came
like
up
to
with a
hear your
workaround
idea.
for our problem.
You have no answer. I know what you're gonna do, Grant. You've done this. You're gonna fuck it up.
Nope.
Look, right,
Some
like, there's
things-
a lot of governmental red tape,
Secrets have no friend. Leave.
Emmy.
Oh my fucking God! Can I cover his mouth?
Yeah, he goes like, Emmy. He pushes your hand up. Fine.
I'm
I just figured she's
serious.
outside the government, right? So
Go.
damn it. And he just kind of grumbles and walks off. I'm fucking genius coming with a great idea. Tell me I can't do fucking shit. I'm walking around fucking cook at this place all my life.
Hi, Emmy.
I don't even know what to say. I'm so embarrassed.
So,
Why don't you want to hear his idea?
because Grant has a loud fucking mouth, and he's gonna release snags, and
Well, doesn't
know
that
what?
fit perfectly with you guys? Aren't you called the loud ones?
I'm not these days. I'm not trying to be as loud.
So you're not as loud ones?
I think the word is silent, but yeah, no, we're working on that. It's a whole moniker change. Anyway,
You're going to have to do a lot more
rebranding is
rebranding
really
for
hard.
that.
it is difficult. Yes. Listen, Em, can you do me a favor? Do you have like a Polaroid or something you can snap a picture of me so that you can show your goons who I am, so they can stop trying to beat me up?
Are you saying that my people are beating you up?
You didn't tell
No,
me that
no.
Emmy's people tried to beat you up.
Well, the word there is try.
Yeah, but intent matters.
Well, sure, but you get mad at a kindergartner trying to punch you in the knee?
Yes.
Okay, well, pick your fucking battles, all right? I'm not mad at him.
Well, I assure you that none of my people tried to beat you up. The last thing they did was give you a beautiful box. And
I
you
can
seem to
assure
like
you-
that.
That is not true.
Well, I can assure you that it is true.
Well, then you must not have seen Celia recently.
Well, that might not be my fault. But you tell me.
So you know Ava, right? Ava Heloise.
Yes.
And you know how we're supposed to keep the people away from her. Particularly, we wanted Celia away from her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, Ava is growing some profound new skills. And she has found a way to connect with, and she discovered where Celia is. So I wanted to get to Celia so that I could get to you to have you move her. Because if Ava knows, it's only a matter of time before she gets back to her. So I went to the location where she said that she saw him. Wasn't very hard. You guys are fucking obvious. They're built like Mack trucks in a place where there's grannies walking around. So I found him. I went in, very, very visible, saying that I needed to talk with you. They said you weren't here. I said, okay, I need to talk to Celia. And they said no. So I said, okay, Celia's in that room, isn't she? And they threatened me. So I said, this is not necessary. And they told me to leave or they would hurt me. I don't take well to being threatened. And
Don't think anybody does.
I didn't kill them. In fact, I just knocked one of them out, and when the other one came out, I knocked him out. I talked to Celia. I told Celia that she needed to be moved. We had some disagreements, and then she agreed that she needed to be moved. As I left the room, I woke one of them up, and he immediately started to attack me. I let him strike me 2, 3, 4 times as I continued to try to tell him just who I am, just why I was there. So I slapped him. You probably noticed, because I in like almost cinematic fashion, when my fingers connected with his face, he lost a series of teeth.
You slapped
I didn't kill him. I made sure that he was alive. In fact, I made sure that they were both alive. I told Celia to stay put.
And you thought she was going to stay put.
No, I didn't think that she was going to stay put. But after I realized that you weren't there, she wasn't going to stay put anyway. Because she's talking to something. Something is talking to her through her shadow. And it's going to probably start giving her new profound abilities just like it's given Ava.
You think so?
Yeah.
I've got a strong idea of it.
That's new. Since you left us, Emmy, we learned a whole bunch of new things.
Oh, well, maybe you'd like to educate me on these new things that you've learned.
I sure would, because we're gonna need your help with something.
And
Yeah.
next time, when you try to help the person who I'm trying to keep away from Ava, maybe you don't go in there without me.
We don't have a means of reaching you, and they wouldn't help.
Well, you do know where my park is. You could have started there.
Were you at your park?
I mean, I frequent there, and they would know where to find me. You could have gotten a message to me instead of going to her, and I don't know what you were thinking. You thinking she's just gonna stay put? She's not a very good listener.
You're right.
She is a good talker, though.
Okay. Apology where it is due. I'm sorry. I tried to go as light as I could. I didn't kill your goons.
Where would she go?
I wish you would have.
Killed your goons? We can kill your goons. That sounds like fun.
Well, you can have those two. They're yours.
As she gestures out and you look out through to the dining room, you see the dudes that you knocked out. One with bloody face that you slapped a little too hard.
That is what a slap looks like? He's missing half his lip, Ollie.
They were
He
big
was-
boo-boos.
He was beating me with a baton. Or he was trying to beat me with a baton.
Well, he did have a mission.
Did
and I
he-
did tell
did
them
he hurt
not
you,
let
Ollie?
anyone get to her.
Listen, be honest. How many times are you going to let someone hit you before you hit back?
Oh, none. Self-defense. They gotta touch me first.
I lean over the counter. Self-defense.
They did swing first.
Okay. I'm not really here for the political game of who shot first. I am really interested in getting Celia back, because without Celia, we're missing one of the puzzle pieces we've collected. And I would like to put out on the table that this time, Dakota gets to keep her.
Even though she would have been fine if someone
I don't disagree. I told
Emmy
them not to
looks
go
at
looking for her.
Ollie.
I'm with Emmy on this
didn't
one.
just let her go.
I don't think that's true. I think Ava Heloise was going to make her way to her regardless.
Well, guess what? Lo and behold, the universe has graced us tonight without the presence of Ava Heloise. She's busy.
Out of game, don't we all know that we saw Celia on the street, like looking at the van last session?
Yeah,
on her
you
way
saw
out of
her.
Madison?
Yeah. Yes, you saw her.
Yeah, she was watching us as we were
Briefly.
leaving for
Yeah. Okay.
Madison.
Yeah. I said
No, Ava saw it. Ava saw it.
Oh, right. Ava
But didn't
saw it because
she-
she rolled
didn't
a
she say
critical
that?
success. Oh, I don't think she did.
She didn't share that
Okay.
with us.
I don't
Yeah.
think she didn't say
Okay.
shit.
Okay, so I can't use that information. I think they're being drawn to each other. So if we find Ava, we will likely find a leg in with Celia.
Or Celia will come looking for Ava here.
Yeah, that's
Let's set a trap. Celia has nothing against old Dakota. In fact, we're kind of buddy-buddy. Last time I saw her, we had a little sleepover. It was chill. Let me go just troll the neighborhood. See if I can put eyes on her.
I think
Eagle eyes on her.
yeah, that's fair. Okay.
And you know what? If nobody's opposed, if I happen to find Celia, I will take care of it.
What do you can you define?
I can.
I think you know, Ollie.
I'm not gonna kill her.
Okay,
We'll
so
have
you're
a
gonna
full
go-
meltdown.
You're gonna go boat strategy.
Yep. It's time we started, right? Might as well be Celia first.
Then we should probably fill little Miss Emmy in here.
And Emmy, we just don't tell Ava, and we continue to allow Ava to think that Celia is in your great care.
Yeah. Yeah, so we discovered that there's a bunch of very particular Lasombra that are very important to Sybil's mastermind play. And she needs them. I think she's either going to eat them or they're going to help raise her or something. Don't really know all of the details on that yet. All we know is that they're important.
So we take her chess pieces off the board.
That's the plan.
I remember you all telling me something about this before.
Yes, we
Rose is
also
one of them.
was one of them.
Rose, yeah. Rudy, I believe, is also one of them. Celia is one of them. We got a drop on Father Basaris. That's his name.
Basaris, some priest.
Rabbi.
Rabbi, sorry.
I'm the second reason that I went to that room was because I needed to backtrack Celia's blood. So I'm basically trying to do a DNA test, an ancestry follow back.
Ollie,
See if I can figure it out.
you said you gave her your blood.
I did.
You can
They can do a lot
go
of things with
invisible.
blood.
Yes and no.
The
So
way
I've
I run-
discovered once you parse your blood out to someone else, if they're not of the same clan, you got to teach them.
Okay. So she can't just go invisible on us.
No.
She might have accidental moments of invisibility where, like, almost like if she has points in it, she might be able to accidentally do it once or twice out of, like, just reflex, but maybe. And that's if she even has it.
Remember Grant, like how he accidentally tapped into his little sneaky foot stuff until I kind of gave him the rundown?
Yep. Save
Yeah,
my
he's still-
ass.
He's still a little pissy about that. He wishes he was super strong, but I think this works so much better.
It does. Okay, Grant aside. Let me go make a loop. Catch up with Grandma. I'll be back in a jiffy.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I will shape change out back.
Yep.
not
And
in
you're
the
gonna do
bar.
a loop where over the entire city, basically.
No, just the block. If we think that if it's true that her and Ava are being drawn to each other, like that's
Sure.
that's what we do know, then she might be drawn to come try to find Ava here because this is where Ava should be.
Yeah.
Right. So I will Ollie's territory in this area. I'm gonna try to keep a stealthy, low profile.
Sure, yeah.
In my
So
shape change. So let me rouse for the
Yeah.
first. Okay. So damn it.
Make me a dex stealth check first.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna change into the bird to do all this because
Sure.
stuff
Yeah,
is
that's fine.
just better. Some things are just better. All right, made my change. Let's do that. Oh, I only rolled a 3, but this is
Still,
important.
it's
So
not terrible, but
no,
willpower?
I'll go ahead and because the stealth is the piece. I don't want her to see me, so I'm gonna use the
Sure.
one willpower I have and do 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're.
So you're probably gonna because you're I'm assuming you're going to spend an hour or two literally just fine tooth combing.
Like perking on a building, watching around, peeking.
Yeah.
Let me do this.
Don't worry about that. For because my question is to Bub. Then, do you want to go? You had 3 more successes. Nice.
Holy shit.
Do you want to roll? Do you want to head to Sunshi in that time?
Oh.
I kind of want to. I want to. I'm gonna spend some time here with M.
Okay, cool. So while that's happening, if you want to have conversation with them, now is the time.
That's basically what
'Cause
Dakota was. She was
Dakota's
like,
gonna
let
be
me
doing
just give them some family space.
And for you, Doc, can you make me a wits investigation check since you're
Wits. I guess that would be. So that's a mental stat, right? It's basically
yeah.
That's
Investigation is
mental.
mental.
Yeah. Okay. I use my willpower. I think I'm gonna get brave here. I'm gonna rouse.
Okay.
Oh, brave. My life.
Damn.
It's all right. They don't have to know. I might just feed and eat again. It's fine. Dakota, where did my bird of prey sheet go? It disappeared on me.
That's all right. While you're getting that,
Yeah,
done,
I'm just gonna roll.
go ahead
Y'all
and,
do your thing.
So after Dakota leaves, Ollie will kind of move back to the stove area before the night gets like super busy, and kind of like hands on the stove front, leaning. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I gummed it up. I'm sorry.
Well, I appreciate the apology. They're still yours. You guys can do whatever you want with them. Otherwise, I might, do something that I shouldn't do.
Well, I mean, they're still probably pretty good goons. They just, they don't really have a means of stopping Kindred.
Not good enough.
Okay. Hey, your call. I'm sure when Ava gets back, she can put them to work. I could always put them on payroll, but they're going to need some time to heal.
Whatever you want to do.
So, I think Dakota and I think we figured out kind of a big play in the city. And we're gonna need your help as a formerly unannounced kindred.
A big play. I always like playing.
It's dangerous, Emmy, and it's gonna put you in the target sights of a lot of really angry kindred.
And why would you think I would want to do whatever this play is then?
Because it's going to put you in the greatest of graces of the potential prince, our future prince of Chicago. I think it's your way back in. Yeah, I think it's your way back in. And potentially into a top spot on the Ventru. So let's go into the freezer, just for the sake of prying ears.
All right.
And
make your way in.
Ollie's gonna kind of give her the skinny about like the what he knows of this dagger and the upcoming Primogen Council and the announcement of new kindred in the city and the grant play, like sort of the loose and dirty of our situation, right? Our Ocean's 11 experience. Without going into any of the gritty detail because it's super nebulous right now and it sounds like it's like the raw plan. But essentially, we discovered the importance of this dagger The dagger is going to be used to punch a hole through
Vitel.
Vitel. And the goal is inevitably to let the abyss in so that she can body the abyss into either Ava or another person and then devour them. But we have suspectations that maybe it's not Sybil, that there's a strong chance that it's the abyss, that it's actually the antediluvian Lysander.
He's been controlling Sybil this whole
He's
time.
controlling Sybil through the abyss because the veil is so thin here. His power is probably the most poignant in these places.
So it's a play within a play within a play. Our play is to keep all their puzzle pieces from touching, basically. Yeah. So do we fill her? You're not going to give her the nitty gritty of the plan. We're going to give her the full Ocean's 11 plan later.
Yeah, the full Ocean's 11. But essentially, like the dirty, like her angle is that we're going to need Emmy to break into the ivory tower and steal this dagger. Because Emmy's unannounced. They don't know you're here.
We're going to do it during an Elysium.
We're doing it during Elysium.
Everybody will be at the Elysium while you make your...
With an exception to a couple of people. Just a couple of people. So you'll probably have to get around, I don't know, a handful of guards, maybe some ghouls, that sort of thing. But that's the plan. You've got to get into her office, nearest the top floor. You have to find the dagger, abscond with it, and hide.
Emmy, I mean, they know as well. It's not like they don't, but that's, even on an Elysium, that's a fucking tall order. Only because, just because she won't be there doesn't mean she didn't have the Tremere glyph important things, and you know, the security cameras are everywhere. It require a lot of planning.
That's not as easy as it sounds.
No, I know. And I'm going to try to figure out all the best ways to keep you in the know. I don't know if you know what the tower is like. I can't imagine the last time you were there, but they've had some renovations.
She does. So it's too different now.
We can get you, some prints, some pictures, things like that. That's going to inform you on the layout. We'll give you the details on the box of where we believe the dagger actually is. We'll have a running count.
Something like that isn't just going to be easy to get to. It probably is going to be booby-trapped.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It very well could be. Or it may be one of those things where Sybil may think, who is stupid enough to break in to the prince's personal chambers and incite a blood hunt.
I think that's just wishful thinking.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So we don't have another means because we, the three of us, Ava, Dakota, and myself, we're under a lot of scrutinizing eyes. Because we're one of maybe the handful outside of the Lysander that are aware of what's going on. It's greater. We're one of the pawns in the play here. We're just trying to revolt back.
Boy, Dakota's not there to share her side, so she's just...
A lot of other people,
Why do you think you're a pawn in the play? Because of Ava?
No, because I think we were intended to be in that position. It goes back prior. I think Rudy was scouting so that he could potentially bring another Lysander in. I think that was supposed to happen.
Why would Rudy want me to keep Celia away from Ava?
It's a great question. And honestly, I don't know. A part of me thinks that he feels extremely guilty.
I did get that kind of vibe from him.
I don't know if you remember, but you did have a theory last time we played. So, because her shadow was calling to her.
Yes.
You believe, you came up with a theory that it's if the Sybil's shadow is in the same room.
Oh.
That it goes to Celia.
Yeah. And that's kind of what Rudy said too, though, right? Rudy said the same thing. Like,
yeah, he danced around like it's not about Ava specifically; it's about what she carries. And
yeah, like we don't have all the details here, right? There's Dakota's gonna have more pieces to this puzzle. She's gonna have things that are more important to her in this as well, and a lot of other people want to see some things as well. I think the Chantry is in the know. I know Snitch is in the know. I know that my crazy Malkavian friend, She's in the know. But the same thing keeps being said over and over again. Keep your head down. Go hide in the sewers. Let this blow over. And I can't. I can't, Em. I can't just lay down and let this happen around me. This is my city. I was born here. I died here. And said it years ago, I'll die again here if it means that stupid petty shit doesn't keep happening above us. At least while
Well,
I'm
stupid
still...
petty shit's gonna still happen above you no matter what.
While I'm still here, I at least get a say in the matter. If I have to suffer under it, I can still play my part.
It's true. But sometimes your part requires a lot of patience. And with this plan, this is gonna be a lot.
You again, you're not wrong. But I think while our patience may be aplenty, I think our time is running still. The clock is ticking, and she's not slowing down on movement. She's closer than she's ever been. And if our theory is right, if the theory stands, then I think whatever lurks in the abyss is kind of hangry and wants to get through. But that's it. That's what I got. I wish I could offer you boons from here to eternity. But all I can promise you is that Jackson will see this in a positive light. And I don't see anyone else stepping up to the mantle of being prince of the city after it's all said and done. I see people trying, but not the same way that he's going to do it.
So you were saying that Ava was getting new powers. By what means?
She's gone, Em. She's gone. She's tapping into the shadow. And it's
You think it
giving
has
her...
something to do with that journal she's been carrying around?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think... I mean, that is a series of therapist visits away from being constantly addressed, but she doesn't want to see what's obviously in front of her. She has Sybil's shadow. Yeah, that is kind of superpower in her. It's giving her some extra juice. And she's using it. And every time she uses it, shit happens, man. Shit happens. She said that she melted people. You name a Toreador that can do that. That can melt people with shadows.
That sounds kind of fun, though.
That's a little fucked up, Emmy. I'm not going to lie.
Sorry. I mean, it's just it's kind of fun.
But she said that she's also moving. She was able to move through shadows. And our little snag is that she's gone. She's gone. She was in the truck and she took a fucking taxi cab through the shadow and we don't know where she's at.
Well, if you were Ava, where would you go?
Well, she called on the shadow. She said, take me to her. And we were going to follow. But the shadow took her elsewhere.
So you think the shadow didn't take her to where she wanted to go?
No, I think it took her where she wanted to go, not the way we intended her on going. We thought we were going to drive the van. Didn't think that she was going to fucking teleport.
You're calling to the shadows and you think that you're going to teleport? Or you think you're going to drive your car?
I don't know. Do I look like a La Sombra? Does this scream La Sombra to you?
They travel through the shadows. It's pretty normal.
Okay, well, can you just remember for a moment that not all of us are 200-year-old vampires, okay?
All right.
I was born in 1987. Forgive me.
You're forgiven.
Thanks,
Not that you
Grandma.
need to be to begin with, anyway.
Look, we'll find. We'll find Celia. I say we when I really mean Dakota. She is... Talk about
I
hiding
think Ava's
senses.
gonna find her.
Man, I hope not. I fucking hope not. That is... he's turning in the walls of the fridge, like putting his head on the walls, like, oh God, I hope not. That's fucking terrible.
And as you say that, we fade away to Dakota, who spends 2 hours or so, combing these streets to the block, or maybe even expanding a little bit further out, just to really cover all the territory she wants to cover. And it's a lot of it, and you spend a lot of time doing it. However, you come up with nil. The door opens. I'm sure you leave the refrigerator. You kind of go back to work for as long as it takes until eventually Dakota walks through the door.
I look grumpier now than I did before.
Not in bird form, I imagine. Yeah.
No.
I think Emmy's probably like sitting in a chair, dangling her feet. Also, I would definitely like to chat with Grant at some point.
Sure.
Oh boy.
I mean, I'm fine with that, but if does Ollie let her ever be alone with Grant or no? I mean,
I don't think it's gonna be. I mean, she gonna eat him?
I hope not, but we'll find out. So regardless, Dakota walks in. You'll have some time with Grant, like toward the end of the night. As you walk in, and you all both look over, Grant's back in the kitchen. He looks over and then immediately goes, "I'm gonna go work on washing the dishes. Have a good night. Have a good conversation." Walks away.
No, Celia.
I didn't think so. Did you find anything?
Nothing.
No. But I was only looking for Celia, so.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course I was flying. I mean, I was combing those streets.
Well, now you get some catch-up time. I know this is going to be awkward and terse because you guys mesh as well as peanut butter on concrete, so I'm going to see Sunshi.
Why would you put peanut butter on concrete?
My thoughts exactly.
Yeah, that doesn't match.
Perfect. You guys,
Also,
this
we
is
have
going to
a
be a
lot more
lovely
in common
conversation.
than you think.
It's true.
Mister.
I got it. Can I come with you, actually?
Oh my god.
I mean, if you want to walk or like ride with me, that's fine, but they're not going to let you in the building.
Cool. I'll just stay here. And goes back to cleaning the dishes.
Okay. Ollie leaves.
Yeah, Ollie goes.
All right. What did Ollie tell you?
Well, a lot of things. I don't think I want to reveal all of it all over
Okay,
again. You want me to
so
tell
are
everything?
you gonna join us or not?
Well, I mean, I would need more details about your plan because it's not a very
How
good
do you feel
plan.
about flying?
I mean, that sounds cool.
Okay. So the princess suite is at the top of the ivory tower. Why would you walk in through the front door and have to go from the bottom up when you could go top down? Less chance to be seen, less cameras, less guards, in and out.
I have a feeling that you are able to fly based on what you said earlier.
On the occasion. More importantly, I've not told Ollie or Ava this yet. I have an interest in seeding some discontent regarding the gangrel presence coming up at the Elysium for a variety of reasons. But most importantly, I need the prince to feel like she needs her security there.
All right.
Which
Makes
is
more sense.
a wonderful distraction. You don't have to get the dagger out of the box, you just have to get the box.
That's saying that the box isn't protected or something.
I don't know. But there's a reason why we asked you to do it. You're older than all of us. You'll know better than all of us.
Well, we're definitely going to need more help. And more details and more planning. How much time do we have?
We haven't gotten the
No
invitation for
date.
the next... We don't currently know the next Elysium. My next plan was to do a little bit of scoping regarding the roof of the ivory tower. See what the entryway is, how many cameras, if there's any guards.
Well, I like your logic better than Ollie's so far.
Ollie is... He's the heart of the mission, really. He's so full sort.
Yeah, he's really set on like saving the world or something. And I'm like, oh, honey, the world is not going to get saved.
Well, don't tell that to Oliver Hopkins.
He thinks that heady stuff is gonna go away.
Well, I'm not gonna burst his bubble, are you?
I already did, I think.
I doubt it. We've been trying for 15 years.
Do you kind of move into like casual conversation, or does Dakota have anything she wants
Look,
to do?
Emmy, what do you know about a man named Vital?
Go ahead
What
and
do
make
I
me
know?
an intelligence politics check.
I don't have a ton of politics right now
Makes sense
because
because you weren't
of the
involved.
situation. Yeah, I
Yep.
didn't put any points in that.
And honestly, the politics would
Um,
involve the time where you were already banished, so it makes sense.
I will rouse.
But you do have contacts, so you can add 2d10 to this roll.
Okay. And intelligence. And what's the difficulty?
Just can put 0. I just want to, don't you worry.
Oh. 4. Ooh.
4 successes. That's actually very, very good. Vital.
I use
do
his
you
whole name. I
was
give
gonna
him
say,
the
do you
whole
give- do
name.
you
Yeah,
say
I
Marcus Vital?
Marcus Vital. What do you know about him?
For a moment, it's a name that rings a bell, and you take a minute and you're like, Marcus Vital, why do I know that? Oh, wasn't he that Ventru prince who ruled DC in 1999? And then, you don't know what happened to him. You don't even know if he was like, if he ever stepped down, but you're pretty certain in DC in the late 90s, Marcus Vital was a Ventru prince.
Well, he's not anymore.
Well,
A prince.
well, obviously.
He's a bit of a shelled out hollow.
And Dakota and Ollie and all, you guys don't even, you think he's Sombra,
Well,
not Ventru.
what if I told you he's not Ventru?
Now you think. Would that be weird to me if she thinks that
Yeah.
he's not Ventru?
I mean, so like it's not out of it's not irregular for other clans to pretend to be other clans, but to pretend to be another clan and also be prince is very fucking hard because you have the most powerful kindred in the city, like making sure you are who you say you are. So it's weird, but it's not impossible.
Believe it or not, Vital is part of all of this Sybil shadow bullshit. He's
In
La
what
Sombra
way?
through and through. He was
And how do
posing as
you-
instinct. Maybe you'll understand that one, Emmy. Just pure
So you-
instinct.
Well, you have no proof.
Well, you did walk a soul like
We
a Vital to
have
Madison.
seen him, and Ava has had quite a bit of contact. Our understanding is that he's not really there anymore. His body is simply being used as a shell, and the amount of abyssal magics that they've been moving in and out of him, shadowy bullshit, tells me he has to be La Sombra. He wouldn't have been able to do it if he was Ventru. Truly.
So then that would mean whatever they've been planning for a long time.
For a long time.
Checks out. I mean, it does take a lot of planning.
Now, I know you've got some, contacts. Not the usual kind of contacts, the off-the-grid kind.
What you're looking for.
Vital. If we can't
Do
get
you
the
have
dagger,
something of theirs?
possibly. If not, I'm hoping maybe your contacts might have seen him about, might know where they're keeping him. Because if we can't get the dagger and we can get Vital, we still have a leg up. As long as, like Celia and Ava, as long as Vital and that dagger never meet, whatever is on the other side, regardless of how Sybil wants to use it or how maybe the antediluvian wants to use it, can't come through. The door cannot be opened. And Vital is the door. The dagger is the key. So, you've been doing this a while, and you're pretty fucking good at hiding and keeping yourself on the down low. So if you got a better plan than me flying you into the top of the ivory tower so you can steal a dagger, if you think we can find Vital, that's as good enough for me.
I can do some looking around. But like I said, if you have something of theirs, that will make it a lot easier.
We don't have anything of Vital's.
No, not that I can think of. You didn't really, you really only interacted with them once briefly, and it was really Ava. She brought him to where she was supposed to, and then she brought him back.
All right, let me think on that. I'll sort it out. But if your contacts could maybe keep an ear out or an eye out, sure would be helpful.
Well, we can definitely do that.
Now for the really fun part.
There's more.
Well, yeah. If you think this is like a one and done, steal the dagger, win the day, it's a mess, Emmy. You stepped into a hot
Let's already
mess
mess with this part.
I guess that's true, but I hope it's worth it, whatever getting back in with the Ventru does for you.
All right, well.
Oh, I lost my train of thought. I actually lost my train of thought.
You said there's
More
another
to
part
it.
of the plan?
More, yeah, well, it's not really part of this plan. It's like a whole separate plan. Oh, what do you know, since you seem to have a little black book of information? What is the Toreador that keeps taking Ava on dates? The one that was woken by Nero. What do you know about a Toreador named Nero?
You don't know the name Nero, unfortunately.
I think I've looked up this before and I didn't know.
You didn't know anything.
Yeah.
You
I
might
don't
know
know
his
Nero that
actual
much.
name.
How about
but you
this?
don't know it.
Girl to girl.
But I did see him, and, well, I can see why she's going for him.
Yeah, that's what makes me so fucking nervous. Ava has bad taste in men, Emmy.
Are you saying I have bad taste in men?
No. I'm sure your taste in men is just fine. I think what I'm trying to say is I don't fucking trust him. Ava seems really obsessed with him, right? And all the weird things that we have seen over the last 15 years, by far the weirdest one for old Dakota Rain is all this shit tied to Madison, one of which is a song. This song that keeps playing over and over. It has to do with like a bucket and a fae. That's a whole different day. Ava has mentioned that it's his favorite song. He says it woke him from a dream. Vampires don't dream. Kindred don't dream.
Well, you can dream. There's ways around it, but not normally.
And for it to wake him, he seems old. And if it woke him out of a torpor, we could possibly be strong enough to do that. And more importantly...
Well, you said the song is about buckets and a fae, so, fae are pretty strong.
Well, we kind of hopefully fix the fae problem. But...
Oh, you never will fix a fae problem.
Yeah, I keep... Hope for the best, plan for the worst, right? Okay, but... I... have a feeling... This shadowy call. If Ollie's right, and it's not actually Sybil, it's the antediluvian. Very, very, very fucking powerful. What we learned about Madison is like, it's like thin there. It's easier to make contact with the abyss, basically. Chinatown was like this here in Chicago for a few years. We don't have all the details, but I can tell you if that's the case, what if Nero's song was woken because he heard it through this thinning veil? He was woken by the shadow, the antediluvian.
There's a possibility of that.
I'm just saying, Ava's taste in men fucking sucks, and I don't trust him, and I haven't told her that yet, because I don't need her to, like, freak out and try to convince me that he's a really great guy. So
you want me to look into Nero?
Yes. He's new here. He keeps tight company. Classy, one might say, and probably a bit old school, so I don't think he might be as accepting, say, as the loud ones are of your age situation.
She just grins.
But I want to fucking stalk him. I want to know what he's doing, why he's doing it. And I'm going to convince Ava she needs to take another date with him, because why not throw her to the, She does it to herself
You
all
don't
the
trust
time.
him and you don't like him. Why would you tell her to go on another date with him?
Because
Don't
I
make
think
famous
he's
sense.
trying to use her. And I want to know why, what he wants. He hasn't gotten to it yet.
Well, I guess whenever she goes on this date next, let me know.
Ooh, you gonna spy?
Maybe.
Okay. How do I do? How do I do that? I don't have a cell phone, a pager, a fucking. What do I fax you?
Emmy will, she has like a little pouch, like a little purse bag. She opens it up and she just like hands you like a piece of like like not cardboard paper, but the like paper that's like, it's got a color on it.
Yeah,
It's
like construction
green.
paper. Yeah.
Yeah, construction paper. And she just hands it to you and hands you a crayon.
For me.
Yeah, you just write your message and then I'll deliver it.
Wait, this is how I get in contact with you? Crayon to construction paper?
Yeah. Isn't it the best? And if you draw me a picture, that'll be even better.
Okay. I'm gonna just put all this, and I tuck it into my little black notebook, right? I put it back in my pocket. I'm like, I will let you know when Ava nails that date with Nero.
All right.
Does Dakota have anything
That's
else
a
she's
lot.
going to do for the night?
Nope. 3 plans, 3 important things. And Emmy, I'm gonna be honest with you. We all know Ollie's a little soft. Ava makes bad choices. I need somebody on my side here.
Well, you can count me on your side.
How is it like the 8-year-old and the 16-year-old are the ones that are okay? High five, Emmy.
Emmy high fives.
High five.
High five.
Would you head out,
See, and
Dakota,
Ollie
or do
thought
you
that
like?
we were like peanut butter and cement.
Because you know,
More like peanut butter and jelly.
Could it be like strawberry jelly?
Ooh, or blueberry jelly.
Ooh, that's good. That's tasty. With the crust cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Crustables.
You like triangles or squares? And I imagine we have this conversation about peanut butter and jelly
for a long time. Do you ever head out to head to where Ollie went to go to the Chantry to meet up with him? You have nothing else you're looking to do, obviously. You want to peel a label. What is Dakota's rest of her night looking like?
Okay. If we are gonna do this plan, I need to eat. I'm hungry as hell again.
You're gonna go hunt?
But at least I'm in Ollie's neighborhood. Yeah, I'm hungry again. So maybe I'm in Ollie's neighborhood.
All right. If you're since you're feeding again in the same, you're feeding. Where'd you feed last night?
I imagine
Was it
near
around
the
here?
boat in my territory.
Okay, near the boat. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Oh yeah. So yeah, go ahead and make a hunting roll. You're gonna go out and hunt and take care of things.
Okay. Yeah, I just kind of let Emmy know I'm hungry. I'll be back.
I'm also hungry.
Are you at 4? 4 hunger right now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's at 4.
So you go ahead and make your hunting check. What are you at for right now? Are you at 3, Emmy? Or
I'm at 2.
okay, you're not too bad. You're only at
Not too bad, yeah.
no. So as
I'm always hungry.
Dakota heads out to go hunt,
So
a few moments pass before you go here. So, Emmy, how's it going? You said you wanted to talk.
You said you wanted to talk.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
But then,
She winks.
the boss really just kind of made a very non-verbal, threatening, don't do it to me, by saying don't open your mouth and covering my mouth for me. I don't want to get in trouble.
You won't get in trouble.
Okay, so I was thinking that since you are not part of the Camarilla, maybe you could be the one to turn me if it comes to it.
Are they planning to turn you?
It's all part of the plan for the get together, the Elysium thing. But they want me to either be a gangrel or Nosferatu. Not that I don't like Red and Boss or anything, but I always felt myself more of a high society kind of guy.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, see, I knew you when I saw you. I knew. Don't know what I knew, but
Well,
I just
he
knew.
did mention some grant play, but he didn't go into much detail about that part.
That's all. Well, there you go. That's it. It's going to be a thing. They want me to, be a, part of it. And I was like, I kind of wanted to be what Ava is. And they said no. So.
Well, that's a whole other situation right now.
Yeah, no shit.
Did you ever go on your date with her?
No, I got kidnapped.
Well, yeah, I remember the kidnapping. But did
So
you
no.
end up going on a date?
No,
after?
and I learned it was mostly a joke. Really heartbreaking
That's
stuff.
rude.
I know,
That's
right?
horrible.
It's true. I don't know.
Why
but
would
she's
they make
still-
a joke date?
Exactly. That's what See? No, see, I can see why you're Ollie's mom or grandmom. What is it?
Guess it's more like a grandma.
Well, you got that same kind of kind-hearted soul. And he says that with like a weird
Aw.
smile.
That's so sweet of you.
Thanks.
I've never been on a date before either.
I am no. I'm good.
No, I meant I've just never been on a date.
Oh.
Not that I want to go on a date with you.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be really weird. No,
Why?
Ava said no, and then she laughed at me, and then it was a joke, and then
Wait, why would that be really weird?
You're like a 9-year-old person.
Ugh. No,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not.
I don't like you're a cute kid. I know you're like a 900 years old or something, but no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's always the problem.
Yeah,
Everyone just sees me as a little kid.
it sucks that you guys like, can't like get any older, but also that's part of the reason I want in.
Did you want to stay your age?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm pretty happy.
That was what I was going to ask you next, was if you really wanted to do that.
Oh God, yeah. I want to help out. I want to be able to do cool things. I want to be able to help the people that need me most. Kind of like Ollie, but like not as Robin though. Don't. Mm-mm.
But you do realize the downsides of it, right?
Yeah, they've told me a million times. But like, listen, here's my thing. I'm already in it, right? I'm already here. I've been shot twice. I've been kidnapped twice, 3 times maybe. I can't remember. Like, I'm here. I know everything. Well, I don't really know everything, but I know a lot. I'm not getting out of it. I'm here. So might as well go. I'm not going to, go like knee deep. Might as well go in the deep end.
Don't you like eating burgers?
Yeah, but I feel like I'm okay saying goodbye to burgers to like be a superhero vampire kind of thing.
What exactly did they say with the downsides?
Oh, the thing inside you, the thing that makes you angry and hungry all the time. They call it the monster. Then there's the other way, like this like petty politics stuff. But I don't want to be involved in the politics. It's like as soon as I can get away from it,
Well,
I'm gonna. I
Can't
don't
really
care.
get away from it.
Well, maybe I'll go to like
Your blood is
s-
literally part of it.
right. So and then other than that, there's like the part where you have to drink, right? And that's dangerous, very scary stuff. That's about it, right?
No, there's a lot more to it than just that.
Right. But I mean, bad
You should
stuff.
think on it,
I have been for years.
because life isn't the same anymore.
Sounds
mean-
kind of nice.
Like I said, think about me. I haven't ever been on a date before.
Yeah, but I'm not 9. No offense.
True.
Anyway, don't do it because I'll die. He'll kill me. But it's my idea. Maybe you can put in a good word.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
And you should think about it.
Okay. I'll think about it. I'll weigh the pros and cons. Oh, yeah, yada, yada, yada. Fucking goddamn. And he goes and ties his apron back up on him and gets back to work after that. And
I mean, like puts Lamb Chop up and like basically follows him with Lamb Chop staring at him while he's doing whatever he's doing.
And we're like right behind Landchop's head with that view as we get it. And as he goes back to flipping burgers, we can fade to black and we'll go on break here and we'll pick up in about 10 minutes or so with
Yep.
Sunshi and Ollie.
All right, everybody, we'll be back after this break.
Welcome back, everybody, from break. Hope you guys got new juice, emptied your bladders, and are ready for the next 2 hours.
I totally brought my juice box.
Perfect. I brought my coffee.
I made hot chai.
I imagine it's like a juice box, but it's got blood in it.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah. One thing, Dot, you asked me a question. Do you want me to answer that now, or do you want to wait till
I think so.
a more appropriate moment?
We had basically Emmy and Dakota are just hanging out, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Dakota pulls from her backpack when maybe she puts away the little sheet and crayon that we're given. She remembers that she's been reading on this book from Cretius, and if we're gonna chill, Dakota's gonna crack open a book.
Sure.
And
You've
she'll
been
just
plugging
kind of
through
crack it open. Yeah.
You've been plucking through it little by little, part by part. When you have more time, some nights you get more read. Depends on how busy you are. You've been very busy. We'll say you're probably close to halfway, if maybe halfway. And
I
what
mean,
you
it's not
realize-
like it's a very exciting read, I imagine.
It isn't. It's actually very boring because it's a history.
Yeah.
It's a history of a very particular people, the Maasai people, which are an actual group of people that are from the northern, central, and southern Kenya and northern Tanzania near the African Great Lakes region. And it is a history of them. It is a simple, pretty historically boring account of how these people live and where they came from and how they, their centuries of history that they know of. However, I need you to make me wits investigation check.
Can I make it academics?
Yes, I would absolutely allow an academics.
Okay. I got my feed. You saw that, right? With my Resist the Frenzy on it as well.
Yeah, I did see that. Yep.
So I'm just going to feed another guy down to 3 tonight. It's just one of those kind of nights for Dakota. These are the nights where we keep secrets.
2 separate hunting grounds, so nothing terrible.
I'll
yet.
leave him in the alleyway. Not dead, just almost dead. And I'm going to rouse. Making bad choices. Yes, finally.
Hey, nice.
Okay. Okay, so I will do a academics intelligence with a 2 modifier. Come on, give me something. Cretius handed me this book for some reason. I got a 3.
Would you like to re-roll 3 of those? You
I
have 3,
would.
you could.
Yeah, I'm going to willpower that. I think that's a swell plan, Mathis.
I try my best.
1, 2, 3. One more. Hey,
It's a critical though.
it's
That
a
makes
crit.
it critical success. That's fantastic. So as you're reading through it, again, the whole time you're like, what is the fucking point of any of this? Like, yeah, this is fascinating, but it has nothing to do with
anything
you're doing right now remotely. It isn't until as you're just sitting there and reading, another 30 minutes or so pass. You read through something and you actually you go down a paragraph before you almost like stop and go, wait, that looked familiar. That name looked familiar. You go back and you read the passage again and you see a name that strikes a deep similarity to something you haven't heard, a name you haven't heard in maybe a long time. Dakota may not even immediately remember it. There's just a slight difference with this name from the one that that you know of. You come across the name Ontai. Ontai. Do you remember?
Otai, yeah.
Yeah. Except
oh.
it's differently spelled. It's not spelled Otai here. It's spelled Ontai here.
Okay, and its relevance, like what's being talked about on the page when it mentions it.
It's just talking about one of in history, one of their tribe's leaders by the name of Ontai. And there's a little bit of like a section on him and talks a bit about who this individual was.
Okay.
And it's tough to know. It doesn't seem like he ruled all that long, because it was shortly after Ontai became head of this particular tribe that another individual, unsure as to who or if it was a group of people, the entire tribe was then slaughtered.
A different tribe, not Ontai's
No, the one that
tribe.
Ontai was. The one Ontai was in charge of, not long after the entire tribe was wiped out by unknown forces.
Since I got a critical on this,
Mm-hmm.
given the general knowledge I have about the Otai story and where it might take place in history,
Mhm.
to say compared to the history of these people that I've been reading for a while, where did these take place in timeline? Is this before or after? Like who came first, the Otai story or the Ontai story?
Right. Well, the Otai story comes from Sybil specifically.
Yeah.
And she speaks about it as like a parable, in a parable-esque way that may or may not be fact. You guys have kind of dug in a little bit, but not too much.
Oh.
This is coming from a history book.
Oh.
probably talking about this.
This is the actual event in history. So
This might be the actual event that she was referencing to Ava at the time. And you critical. You remember how that story went. She told you the story before.
Yeah, that
Otai pledged themselves. They were Sybil or whoever it was not particularly happy with them. And then one of their that Otai's best friends came and pledged himself. And they said, if your loyalty, prove it to me by murdering your entire tribe. And he did.
Okay. Dakota kind of like probably pushes the stool back. It like grinds against the floor in the bar. And I go, Grant, I'm going to need another, or she goes, Grant, I am going to need another beer to peel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hang on. He
Emmy,
wanders out there.
Come take a look at this. And I kind of slide the book between two seats so Emmy can come join me and Dakota can like bring Emmy up to speed on this particular finding
As you read through it, you realize as you read more of the history, Antai ruled for about 6 years or so. And there's whether it's because it's parable, because the tribe basically got completely wiped out after about 6 years or so, or whatnot. But there's little mentions within the tribe's stories over the centuries of this man embodying the spirit of like the spirit of death, like a pale gray spirited man was known to follow him in his shadows and brought the death that followed. Now, whether that's literal, it's portrayed in this book as metaphorical. It's probably they're referencing what would be the plague that was about to come, and then the slaughter that the tribe was to occur. And this story was probably created later after the tribe was wiped out, and other tribes picked up on it, and then added the pale gray man that followed him and whatnot. Yeah, and that's how it's presented in the book.
Okay. Okay.
What year was that?
Ooh, Lord, give me a second. I can get you that.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
And this would be basically
it would be like the time of the ancient Greeks, like that.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
And so this is a historical book, which means it's academic text by somebody else who's already done this research and put the pieces together. This is like
and the author. You don't recognize the name of the author. It's not like Cretius was the author or anything.
Great. Yep. Okay. Cool.
So you continue. I'm imagining you're like, okay, you point this out to Emmy and you start, reading it, and you see this image of a pale gray man that's supposed to follow Antai, representing death that was to come, blah, blah, blah. However, there is another name that jumps out to you, not too terribly longer, about another 30 or so pages afterward. And let me just make sure I get this correctly, because I wanted to make sure. Yeah, I'm right. Okay. Another name pops out. Oh, no, you know what? You wouldn't recognize this name. There would be no reason for you to recognize this name, so never mind. It doesn't pop out to you. It does not pop out.
Can I know what it is?
Teased.
How about for the after show?
Okay.
But yes, the story starts popping out, and it mirrors what Sybil told to Ava, with the changes of the name and a bit less of a fantastical twist and more of a realistic account of what happened to that tribe under the leadership of Antai, who, according to Ava's story, pledged themselves to some vampire. Maybe it was La Sombra. She thinks that's what the story was about.
Okay. Yeah, Dakota will just have a moment at
bub,
the bar.
What's up? You look like you're about to lose your mind.
With Emmy.
I just had a realization. To prove in the story of Antai, it's like prove your loyalty. What proof is there to murdering your entire clan?
Other than murdering
With an
them.
exception. No. There's more to it. Mass murder weakens the veil.
Like a ritual.
Certainly does.
That's how veils
blood rituals
weaken is through mass murderous events.
That's how Hekata operate. They don't operate, but their powers that if they ever want to bring dead back and whatever, they need to weaken the veil and they need to sacrifice people.
Okay. I go across the whole bar and I collect every salt and pepper shaker, every bottled thing, like the ketchups and the mustards and all of it. And I bring it over to where like Emmy and I are sitting and I set it all down. I'm like, okay. I retell the Otai story. I'm like, look, here's what we know. This is Ava. This is Vitel. These, and I put all the salt and pepper shakers, are this 12 figures that Ava saw in a vision. We believe it to be some kind of ritualistic circle. If the Ontai/Otai story is true, and he's going to ask, Sybil is going to ask for somebody to kill everyone, it would be to kill all these Lasombra, right? These 12 people in the circle. But why the ritual? Because the dagger and Vitel are all that are needed to open it.
I want you to be aware as well, and maybe if I probably wasn't very clear about this. There's no account of Ontai being dead among the tribe.
So Ontai did not die with the tribe.
The stories go that Ontai was never found among the bodies of the dead. Whether that's, again, it's presented in parable. Obviously, it's like the stories passed down after centuries of they've really made this guy bigger. But you are operating with knowledge outside of what consensus reality is.
There might be the other part of it. They're trying to bring somebody else back.
The antediluvian, obviously, right? So if the antediluvian has become the abyss, and Sybil's about to rip a big fucking hole in it, and he's gonna come through. He's not coming through in some physical form that she's gonna cram in Bella and or Ava's body. We're still not entirely fucking sure. And he is going to be the abyss in actuality. He will pour out and take everything over. Sybil's plan is secondary. What he needs is all of these people in a room together. He needs a dagger and Vitel and these 12 people. Kindred.
Well, sometimes you don't even have to have them all in the same room. Just incident happening at the same time.
There's a pattern, though, of death. Every one of them. Otai asked him to slaughter all of them.
The person asked Ontai to slaughter.
Right, asked Ontai to slaughter all of them.
Sybil. Right.
Yeah, Sybil presented it in a parable, and not the facts weren't fully correct in her story, as Dakota is realizing.
She skews it, yeah.
This would take place at I have an answer. This actually, this time period took place 1,000 years before the birth of Christ.
Wow.
That's how long ago this is.
Wow. Okay, so she's been walking around trying to recreate her own trauma for centuries.
Ontai is not referred to as a woman, though.
Okay.
Referred to as a man.
Interesting.
And Sybil doesn't come from here. She comes from Greece. Because Ava learned Sybil also meant oracle from where she was, and that might not even be her real name.
So the only man in the picture that we know of is Vitel. So what, she asked Vitel to kill all the people in a ritualistic way for what reason? Then he kills himself. Because he's got to rip himself open. Man. Also, you can't tell Ava any of this. Ava has to go into this blind.
All right.
At least to some degree. Because, she's carrying the shadow and all that, and she's part of the ploy, if we believe it to be true.
Can you give me one more wits investigation check? And no, academics will not suffice for this particular role, but it is to see something in the book while you're reading through it.
Okay, wits. Well, we'll just add another willpower to that. This seems important now. Dakota has...
It's
also roll?
Wits.
You know what? Yeah, Emmy, if the book is open where you both can see it,
I also have academics, but whichever.
It's not academics. It would be wits investigation.
I got 3.
Okay, you could re-roll one of those if you chose. But let's see what Emmy rolls.
Let's see. I will. Oh my gosh, the sheet's different than the other one I need. And wits. And what's the difficulty?
This is a 4 difficulty overall.
Ooh, that's spicy. Oh, I did not.
You could re-roll 3 as well?
Yep, you could re-roll 3 and potentially get a critical, potentially. You need a 10.
You just want to take a willpower and roll 3d10 for me?
Yeah, I can do that. Ooh.
Ooh, but you still got 2 more successes.
2 more successes, which means you meet exactly what I'm looking for. And she's flipping through and you're reading, and Dakota's not like flipping through quickly, but she's gotten really good at speed reading. She spends a lot of her time, nose in a book when she's not doing work for the coterie or what have you. But she flips through and there's something that catches your eye just momentarily because it looked like indentation on the paper itself. And like it looked like the piece of paper, all of them are pretty smooth, but one looked like it had a little indentation. It caught your eye just for a second because the way the light kind of refracted.
Yeah, I think maybe because while
refracted
she's
off of
flipping through it,
Yeah,
so
it
that's
just-
why I kind of rerolled.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Wait. Go back to that page.
I flip back.
As you flip back, Emmy reaches forward and you can see her fingertips run over a small part, maybe a 1/4 inch or an inch long part, where you could feel the bumps of something having been like, if somebody's writing something on top of it
Yeah.
and on a piece of paper, it made like an
Dakota
indent.
immediately goes
Emmy's gonna
in the-
pull
for
out
the
her
crayon.
Emmy's gonna pull out her paper and
God, I didn't
crayon.
even think about that. The construction
Yeah,
paper
Emmy's
and the
gonna pull out
crayon.
paper and crayon, and
Yeah, and we'll make
you know
a
how you
rub
can
of it.
rub on
Yep.
the paper, and then
Okay,
it can
okay.
come through on the
And
other
then
side.
Dakota reaches for the one you gave her and then realizes you already have the idea, and Dakota's like, go for
That's
it,
so
Emmy.
great.
I love that we have the same idea.
Yeah.
Give me a dexterity craft check.
Oh,
Ooh, dexterity craft. Oh,
Very rarely do we pull that combo.
yeah, that
of,
doesn't come out
rolls.
often. Not since the last
No.
time Dakota
Not super hard.
started
I'm not looking
drawing
for like
people.
a 4 or 5, but it is old indentation. So you are looking to rouse it again. So you can add
Nice.
2d10 again. Yeah, Emmy making fucking sick rouse rolls.
I know. I just like, and I like, I think one of them I crit on or something like that. I was like, what? Oh, craft. I'm like, what's the button I was trying to hit? Dexterity, and then what's the difficulty?
I'm not gonna say. I just want you to roll.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Put
I'll
0.
just put one.
Hey!
3.
Successes. That
Three's
beats
not
hard.
bad.
Yeah, you're able to. You can't get the full word with 3, but you can get a good chunk of the letters. The first about 1, 2, 3, 5 letters total, and it spells M. If you want to write this down,
I got it.
Okay.
M
Yep.
O N T A, and that's where it stops.
Okay.
Manta.
Can I
You know, there's
take-
more there, but it's too like the age took it away, and you cannot like.
So you
see
say
what
it's
else is
actually
there.
like grooved into
Like somebody had some
page
piece
of
of
the
paper
book?
on top of it and was writing something on a separate piece of paper,
Uh-huh.
hard and quick enough for it to make an indent that
So
probably sat there.
she
for
did a
long
rub on
time.
another piece of paper. Dakota takes the crayon,
Mhm.
and because it's Dakota, and we all know how she loves books, but also how she treats them. Whatever this ancient book Cretius gave her is, she does
It's
the
not
rub.
an ancient book. Don't worry. It's just
Okay,
like a
okay,
history book
a
from like
history
the
book.
60s.
Okay, she does a direct rub on the book page, like just a little crayon to see if I can't get the other ones.
Okay. I'll go ahead and you make me
Try.
a craft dex
I'm
check.
gonna brave writing it in Cretius's book.
Yeah.
I think Emmy says out loud, like,
Montana?
I mean, that's not a bad guess.
yeah.
Montana. Huh.
Okay.
I didn't think Montana existed up 2,000 years ago.
Yeah. She's like,
Let's
what?
do it. Let's do it. Let's messy critical.
Wow, messy critical. You ruined the book. You absolutely
Oh,
ruined
no.
like the what value it has. You scribble all over it. You don't want to miss an inch of
Inch
this
of
piece
it,
of
yep.
paper, so you cover fucking everything.
Yep.
And it's in fucking crayon, so there's
Yep.
no getting it out.
Nope.
However,
Yep.
you get the rest of the letters.
Okay, good.
Arlo.
N-O.
Oh, I know.
N-O.
Those are the last 2 letters
Montano?
of the word.
Hey, it was close.
Yeah, you were close. Not Montana,
So like that.
but M-O-N-T-A-N-O. Yep. Not
Okay.
all caps, lowercase.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
but
yep,
like
yep.
that.
Okay.
Okay. What do we know about, or what do any of us know about
Um,
Montano?
Emmy, you're the only one that can make me this roll. Intelligence, politics.
Not my strong suit. We will rouse again. I keep wanting to scroll down for the rouse. I don't know why. Hunger.
Hey, you're at hunger 3. You're all right. You just don't want to be
I'm
at hunger 4.
hungry. I'm gonna eat Dakota. No, I'm
And
just
this is a
kidding.
difficulty of 5. This is
You said
hard.
intelligence?
intelligence, intelligence, politics, difficulty 5.
Ooh, I don't even think I can hit that. I have to
With
get
the
all
crit.
successes.
You might have to
get
crit.
a crit.
That's all right. It's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
as old as you are, you're not this old.
Ooh.
Yes.
bestial failure.
Nothing.
Ooh.
Absolutely. You have no recollection of it remotely. No, rings no bells.
Okay.
And obviously for Dakota, it doesn't ring a damn bell.
Well, the page that I ruined, I
Yeah.
make a really nice crease with my boot knife. And I just pull that page right out,
sure.
and I fold it and I keep it because it's important. I add it to my little black book, and
Perfect.
he'll be none the wiser. He's not going to open this book.
And so maybe as Dakota's like putting it away, as you put it away, the door opens and in walks Ollie.
Oh.
However, we rewind time by a couple hours, an hour or so. And we pick up as we hear the crunching of grass underfoot as Ollie walks over to a walking path that leads over to Sunshi's individual place amongst the Tremere Chantry. And you knock. And unsurprisingly, another faceless individual looks and doesn't say anything first, just looks you up, down, and raises an eyebrow. What? It's like you put him maybe in his 20s. You lost? We don't do like homeless stuff here. Sorry. Have a good night. And he goes to shut the door.
I'll keep the door open.
So you hand or foot?
Hand.
You just hand hits it and it just stops him dead.
You ever seen a homeless person with this kind of wear?
It's Chicago, man.
Yeah, because panhandlers and homeless wear this material.
What do you
Is
want?
Sunshi in, you fucking goober?
Oh, God. Yeah, hang on. He shuts the door. Another 5 minutes pass before the door opens, but instead of him being there, it's Sunshi. And she looks to you with her usual kind of just emotionless expression, steps back, and she goes, "Been expecting you. Come in." As she shuts the door behind you and you turn to face, before you even get a word out, she holds out her hand. Been a pleasure working with you, Mr. Hopkins, but I imagine this is where you come to tell me we're done.
Why?
Well, I would imagine you're the reason I can no longer track the pages of the book.
No, not to my knowledge.
The rituals aren't working, haven't been. My most experienced and my most amateur, even myself, leads to nowhere. So unless you destroyed them to try and
No, that didn't happen.
you
The
cut her
book
off before she can even say it.
book didn't get destroyed. There'd be zero value in destroying it. I'm trying
you
to build
got
a
what you
relationship
wanted.
with her. Did I?
She shakes her head. You Nosferatu are tricky motherfuckers. And she says
Okay,
that with
all right, hold on. Listen, before this becomes about some elitist clan nonsense,
she shakes her head. I'm not, my blood gets the better of me.
let's level with each other here. Be honest. Even for a moment, take me as surface value here. Don't pigeonhole me with the other clans or even the way that they're supposed to react. Do I have anything to gain from cutting you off from a supply?
I don't know, and I don't pretend to spy on you.
Okay, that's perfect. Just like I don't do the same. Why would I show up here to accost you in your own home? That just seems like a bad idea, right? Bad plan.
You have not met many young kindred before.
I've met plenty of them.
I got the hiccups out of nowhere.
The problem is most young kindred don't live past 5 to 10 years. I intend to stick around a while.
She just says, my assumption was you came here thinking you had a card you could hold over me after cutting the deal short, and we're going to try and squeeze me for more than you already have.
No, I came here for 2 reasons. The first was to say that I got 2 more pages. I thought that would be valuable for you. They're stored back in my own domain for now. But the second, you said come back in 3 days. It's been 3 days.
It has, and now I cannot continue my end of, or rather the end of the bargain you promised me, and I'm stuck in a conundrum of sorts.
Okay, well, I got a couple of ideas as to why. And that's something that I can work on. I didn't know that was the case. My apologies.
Would you have any
immediately.
reason, or should I say, would you have any idea as to why it can no longer be tracked?
Yeah, can we go somewhere like that's the people who still don't know me? Like, do you have like a sealed room or something? Something with a lot of light.
She just looks to her any of the people, like one of the people that are standing around. She literally waves them away. As they shut the door, she walks over to it. You see her bring her hand in front of her. It's hard to see where you're behind her, what she does. But she places her hand palm first on the door and says an incantation in a language you can't comprehend. And as she pulls her hand back, you can see blood, cake, and dust away. There's no evidence that there's anything there. And she turns, she goes, we're safe. What?
Can we sit down? This might take a second.
She gestures to the couch and she takes one of the nearby chairs.
Okay. So, our last visit, we talked about some very nebulous, spooky shit happening in Chicago. Something in regards to a shadow. Are we on the same page?
We are.
Is this how aware is the Chantry
Of what?
of La Sombra affiliated events?
Rather aware.
Okay. What if I said that, well, I mean, most of Chicago's probably in the know of some facet of it, but that I am pretty much under the heel of the source of that problem?
News to me.
Okay. Well,
Are you aware of the source of the problem?
I am aware that there is something very old and La Sombra related tucked away in Chicago, and it is trying to do some powerful plays. Am I, how far off am I? We on the
She
same
just
page?
raises her eyebrows. You tell me.
This is Sunshi. Come on, it's give and take here. All right, it's tug of war. Let's
I
be on the
appreciate
real.
what you've given. What more do you need from me?
I want to know where you're at in this, so I can see if you're an ally or if you're a problem. Because if you're a problem, I'll just walk.
She just kind of she brings one of her legs up and swings it wide as she crosses it and leans in a little bit. The Tremere are allies of none and enemies of ignorance. We work together because it is convenient for the both of us in the moment. I am trying to figure out how it is continuing to be convenient for myself.
Oh, you're a smart lady. Come on, you know that the end of days is real bad for kindred alike.
She smiles at that. Mr. Hopkins, every 50 years, every century, there's a new end of days prophecy that some section of the Gamarilla thinks is happening. In the 90s, we believed the end of times was coming. You know what happened? Thin Blood showed up. And now Thin Bloods are the next existential threat to kindred existence. And you know what happened? Nothing. Societies change. We still stand. And no end of world event have ended us yet.
I could soft a hard pitch, the truth, or even a lie, and nothing that I say right now will land with you in such a way that you'll even try to believe me, because you're using the Chantry and the Tremere as a clan, as a shield, because you think that you are not going to be the target, or that you're going to skate away because you're big and you're bad and you've got blood magic. I get it. You're powerful. I get it. Your clan is powerful and that you operate only for yourselves. But it wouldn't be the first time that someone of the Tremere has opened up a little bit to work with someone or even try to use them, Sunshi. I'm an outcast in my clan. Okay? I know that I get laughed at by so many people that I'm just supposed to keep my fucking head down, that I've got to stay in the sewers. And that's the only way that I'm going to survive if I want to see a long life. I know that I'm a bleeding heart and that I do too much. I get it. I'm not looking for handouts. I'm looking for someone that I can rely on when shit gets really dark. Because no matter how strong your blood magic is, it doesn't stop the La Sombra and what's coming out of the darkness. Because it's bigger than you. It's bigger than the Chantry. And frankly, it doesn't give a fuck about politics.
Mr. Hopkins, are you aware of what happened in New York 20 years ago?
Yeah, I've got a pretty good idea.
Did the world end?
Who was running New York at that time?
She takes a moment. I'm not entirely sure who Prince of New York was at that moment in particular. I'm mostly referring to what was once known as the Giovanni.
Sure, I've got a pretty good idea of that.
Prophecies foretold of the end of days, forever night would spew forth. Instead, they had a weird family reunion and days continued. I don't doubt you. In fact, I agree with you. There's something happening greater than all of us. But unlike you, Mr. Hopkins, I don't want friendship. And relying on somebody requires trust in a world and society where trust is scarce, if existing at all. Yes, you have a reputation, and you've held well to it, Mr. Hopkins. It's why I continue to work with you. But there will be give and take with our relationship.
The problem is I
can-
seem to be doing a lot of the giving, and you seem to be doing a lot of the taking.
You came to my door.
You have had my blood for decades now.
A price worth paying for my services.
A price worth paying to find out something that I already knew? A confirmation of sorts? So are you in the business of learning, or are you in the business of robbing? Because that feels sort of like theft. Now, you asked me if I came here to hold something over your head, to cut off the pages of this book. I said I got you more pages, and you're shitty at me because I didn't do something. I didn't do a fucking thing. I came here to work alongside you.
Whether it was your fault or not, it is still missing, Mr. Hopkins. I appreciate those 2 pages, and we can conclude our initial deal. What you came here for and what I can provide for you. But anything beyond that, consider it a closed door. We are a clan of education.
Okay.
Just because I don't share that with anyone else outside of my family doesn't mean that we don't know what's going on, Mr. Hopkins.
Sure. That's
naive.
cute. That's cute. All right. Well, before I go, let me drop this nugget on you. Why don't you do a little bit of research into the La Sombra and the importance of a particular relic, a stone dagger? Once you figure that out, you can fucking come find me, because clearly you got your head up your ass and your foot in your mouth, and it's really difficult to dance around this one. So once you figure that out, we'll talk. Give me the information on the blood so I can drop the fucking pages off, figure out where the rest of them are at, because you're not doing us any favors at this point.
She gestures. Ask any question you'd like about the blood, and I'll answer.
I want to know how far back it goes. And I need to find the people that it's associated to in the closest of generations.
In terms of the lineage of the individual?
Yes.
As far as I could tell through my processes and same with my adepts, she is a bit of a younger generation. Let me give you the exact number. What generation she is? Let me give you that exactly. He is. Oh, she's a late generation. She's very, very, very late generation. She's a 13th generation kindred.
Okay.
She's new, and I don't mean that simply by age alone and walking the streets as a kindred. Whoever turned her was as rather much like you, close to the line of where thin bloods can happen.
Okay.
She is indeed La Sombra, to confirm.
Could you locate the source where it came from?
I had a lead on her, but much like the book, it stopped.
You said her.
Well, yes, you gave me her blood. I can determine quite a lot.
Okay, so you had a lead on her. What about the one who sired her?
It's a bit more difficult. She takes a moment, and you see her kind of just stroke her chin and lean in. Whoever it is no longer in Chicago.
Okay. Were you able to tether it to anyone else? As close to a patronly line?
Yes, that's the interesting thing. Whomever sired her, and the bloodline she belongs to, is, perhaps it's not too terribly surprising, as most kindred blood do, but it runs back. Seems to run into an ancient history, much like the Ventru or the Bruja. It is old. If you're curious if it's a direct line, yes. There seem to be many others siring in between, or others who sired others who sired others who then led to her. She does seem to be of an ancient bloodline of La Sombra. But
does it trace back to someone by the name of Sybil?
Names are not particularly something that comes through. As this girl you gave me your blood, I don't know her name. Her blood is thin, though not quite thin-blooded, and it's a direct line to the ancient clans of La Sombra. Do you know much about them and their origin?
I'm learning a lot these days about La Sombra. A lot more than I honestly care to.
The interesting, perhaps you've heard of this, perhaps not, but I find it interesting. Nobody truly knows the name of the first La Sombra, if you even believe antediluvians are a thing, though we have evidence that they at least are partially true in some regard. But La Sombra, where they originated, we don't know.
Do you have anything that can help me?
What do you need for help?
I need to locate existing members of that bloodline in Chicago. I can give you a name.
She nods. I could accomplish that, yes. One last thing, Mr. Hopkins, before we move on to business or we say our goodbyes. I want you to understand the inability to track an object, no matter how in depth we take our rituals for it. Very few things can make it untraceable. It's utter destruction or its removal from a physical place.
Okay.
So if you do not destroy it, it is no longer here on this physical plane.
Okay. I mean, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Well, that's helpful. I think.
And yes, if there are any other direct descendants of similar bloodline, I could use this, her blood, to eventually trace them down.
You know, Sunshi, I think you've helped me out as much as you can.
She smiles. I'm so glad I was able to be of service.
Ollie gets up and walks out. You probably hear him muttering, "Can't believe that Dakota was so right."
And as you drive home, muttering in your mind or even maybe out loud, we cut back to the kitchen where the door opens and in walks Ollie.
We have crayons in hand.
Yeah. Oh, so you walk into a history book as she's mid tearing a page out that is covered completely in red crayon and a piece of construction paper also crayoned over with some writing. It's hard to tell. And Grant is just like hanging out and he's like, so what does it all mean? Is it like the Da Vinci Code?
Who's Da Vinci?
The guy who's from the book.
What book?
The one that Tom Hanks did a movie about.
Who's Tom Hanks?
Actor guy. He wasn't in Star Wars, so. Oh, and the door opens. Oh, hey, boss. There's like a secret code. Look at this. And he's like, he moves over. There's like a code in the history book that Dakota had that she was reading, and it said Montana.
How was your walkabout to see Sunshi?
Really fucking pointless.
Attitude or like
Not like it's visible. Ollie's hot.
Do you want to talk about it?
Not really
Did
a
you
lot
not
to
get
talk
what you
about.
wanted?
I'm losing faith.
Because of
Sorry.
Sunshi?
Because everybody wants to keep their goddamn head down and hold their secrets so close to the chest. Nobody wants to do anything. They don't
Emmy?
believe in shit.
Emmy, can you give me an intelligence resolve check?
okay.
Memory check specifically. Hearing the name Sunshi. Continue.
Well, would you like some good news?
Yeah, I'll share with you what I've got.
Okay, well, you first.
She was able to trace back some of the blood.
Okay.
She said that she has an idea where that person is, but suddenly they disappeared. They're either dead or they're no longer of this plane of existence. Additionally, that person's sire, so Celia's sire, is either dead or no longer on this plane of existence. I have a feeling that there's a strong chance that we can retrace our steps back and find Father Rabbi Basaris, whatever his name is, and he's either dead or he's no longer of this plane of existence.
Okay.
Additionally, the Chantry can no longer track Ava in the book.
Why?
Well, that kind of makes sense,
Because
right?
Ava's either dead or she's no longer of this plane of existence.
I see a pattern here. Okay, so they're all going to the abyss, so the call is real.
Yep. And I dropped a few nuggets of wisdom onto Sunshi, and she frankly could not give a shit less. It's like I was fishing with the wrong bait. She couldn't care. She didn't even phase her.
Fishing.
Sunshi being said over and over again, Emmy. You know that name. Yeah, of course you know that name. That's the vampire whose mind fractured when they were turned, who became a violent sociopath, Tremere. And the whispers of there's whispers of ancient, like some ancient demon that might be whispering to her, and she's not to be trusted. She is a rogue element even within the Tremere. She operates like as a satellite to the Tremere on her own. This is because she was turned a while ago. These were rumors that were circulating in her initial turning. Yeah, no. You're like, oh no, she's the one that like lost her mind, wasn't she?
You keep saying the name Sunshi, right?
It's the only person in the Tremere that would give me the time of day.
Well, there's probably a reason why she seems unfazed. She's a complete sociopath.
Aren't most kindred?
Yeah, most of them are.
But this is like when she was turned. Like, there's rumors that she had her mind fractured and that there's like ancient demons whispering to her. She's totally not to be trusted. So I think you might have just shared all the information with a crazy person.
Wait.
She's probably working with the Lasombra. Who knows?
She can speak to demons.
It's a rumors, whispers.
It's rumors.
Ollie, you said something. You said you were fishing with the wrong bait.
Yeah. She asked if I knew what was going on in the city. I asked her what she knew, and she said, you first. So I said that there's some ultra spooky dark shit looming in the shadows. And I asked her if she had heard the name Sybil.
Because she's aware
she
of
didn't
it.
care.
Or she already knows. She's probably more likely. They traded information anyway.
What if I go visit Sunshi?
Good luck. She probably won't see you.
Yeah, the Tremere are
But
kind of
good
picky
luck.
about who they see.
I mean, I'm Dakota Rain. The interest alone of me showing up at your door, you're at least gonna answer.
Well, as I was walking out, I did mutter, I can't believe Dakota was so right, as I shut the door. So, yeah, there's probably that. Probably fresh in a noggin.
Well, if she asks me, I will cover. I have an
Oh my
idea.
God.
I have an idea. You say she's a sociopath, right? All right. Her whole room, her whole little library is filled with philosophy shit. Pontification without activation. All I'm gonna do is go in there and pontificate for a while. Sometimes you learn more about a situation by simply giving in than fighting it, Ollie. What if I give her exactly what she wants?
What do you think she wants?
Yeah, what do you think she wants? Grant kind of speaks
my
up
God,
like a foot away,
Grant!
revealing himself to be eavesdropping the whole fucking time.
She wants more truth that she's willing to trade for.
Well, what if I don't go in there with a trade? You see,
What
the thing
about-
about a bartering system is that you have to barter.
Tell her about Montana.
But if you give something for free, you taught me this lesson, Ollie. There's nothing she can do.
Well, if you're going to go, I'm going to let you take those 2 pages that Ava gave me. Because I really don't want to see Sunshi anymore.
All right. Yeah. And I come bearing gifts. Who's gonna turn Dakota Rain away, huh? And then I hand over the colored hidden page that I was like tucking in my pocket when Ollie comes in. I hand it over to Emmy and I was like, maybe you can get him caught up on our little coloring session. All right, so I'm going to turn around, hit the skateboard, and roll straight up to Sunshi's door.
Before you go, if
Yep.
she asks, Our line is cut. She just burned a bridge.
Well, you said she
I
doesn't
would be
really
careful,
care.
Dakota. Also, what are you guys trying to get from her? Like I said, she's not to be trusted.
Oh, I'm not trying to get anything. That's the trick. She'll hand me exactly what I need. It works every time. It's just a little manipulation,
Well,
you know?
what do you need?
We were trying to find... Oh, that was the other thing. How we thought that they were all satellite La Sombra. They're all direct lineage. I think Rose may have been... Maybe may have been her patron, her sire. Regardless, with Rose off the board, there's a reason that there's only like 8 or 12 or however many.
Why don't the two of you go find... Oh, wait, you said she's not in this plane of existence anymore. Do you think whatever Ava did also happened to when she poofed? Do you think that Celia also poofed?
I don't know.
Maybe they all did.
All right, well, you and Emmy have historical story time and crayon coloring, and Grant, just don't eavesdrop.
What? I didn't mean to. You guys are just
What
so
happens if
interesting.
somebody busts in here and tortures all this information out of you?
I'll shoot him in the gut.
I'll be back.
You know, yeah, I could prevent that.
I'm leaving.
Just be careful, Dakota. She's violent.
Hey, me too.
Also, not a Tremere.
She's not a
She's a
Tremere.
no. She's a Tremere. She is a Tremere.
I mean, she might not be working for the Tremere.
Even better.
As
That's
Dakota
right.
leaves, and he's like, "So, can you crack the code about Montana? Like, what's happening?" He steps back, and that's where I imagine Emmy takes over and explains
Yeah,
to
Emmy
Ollie.
will toss you over this like paper that you can see. It's like something that was rubbed onto it and shows like Mont on it.
Did you leave
Doesn't
the
show, like,
history book, Dakota?
I left the book, but I'm coming back for that.
Yeah. I just want to make sure he has it to reference. Would Ollie go
And
through the
then-
book and read any of this at all? No, not really. Or yeah,
no,
he might.
he's still pissed off. Like he's
Yeah,
not gonna immediately sit down for education.
Yeah.
well, Emmy's offering the education and flips the book open to the page and kind of shows him the paper.
Just,
I know you-
just give me the cliff notes. Just hit me with the quick and dirty.
Well, so there's this dude named Antai. I think, maybe they're
Yeah.
not
You know
that sounds
Otai.
familiar. I know something close to that. I mean, are they is he related to Otai?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's a very uncommon name. I cannot imagine they are either different people or too far unrelated.
Well, the whole thing is that he's a Lasombra, and he murdered his clan. You should read it.
Yeah. No. We Ava she told us this.
But it's real.
Fuck.
Also, that means they've been planning this kind of stuff for like a really, really long time.
Which feeds into Ollie's theory that it may have been Lasombra planning this the whole time and not necessarily Sybil.
How long? Like he's flipping through pages. How long? One is this study session, and how long is a long time? Looking at.
1,000 years
1,000
before.
years before Christ.
Oh my God! There's no quick and dirty for this. There's no cliff notes or.
No, not really. I gave you the cliff notes. That's what you asked for.
It's just a notable grunt, like long, drawn out, exasperated grunt from Ollie.
Do you need to fart?
I need a
I
vampire.
mean, you
out there.
don't really need to fart.
I never thought I would say this out loud. I need Layla.
Whoa. Are we sure you haven't gone crazy?
Can you be sane and
Also-
operate in Chicago?
Wait,
I
no,
will say
you still
this
haven't
as
told
well.
him. Tell him the other name. The name you got out of the book that you colored in
I
from.
showed him it was Montano.
Montana. Well, not Montana. Montano.
I know, that's what I
Close.
thought too.
Yeah. I heard you say it. I thought that's what it was.
What is the significance of this?
I was gonna say, Ollie, did
Hell
you
no.
ever come across? I know you as Bub have talked about that name before. In like out of game stuff.
Out of character, I know.
Ollie
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
Who it
no
is.
idea.
Okay, yeah. Then yeah, wouldn't have any clue necessarily.
The only Montana I'm aware of Montana.
Me too.
There was a cartoon where there was a kid named Montana Max, and they wanted his money. Tiny
don't
Toons,
think-
Tiny Toon
Oh,
I
Adventures.
don't
yeah.
think this is referring to each other. I'm pretty sure there's some other dealio here, and it has to do with Antai.
What's the correlation?
I don't know. It was just embedded in this page. She took the page.
Well, and did you talk? Does Dakota talked about seeing Cretius about it? She got this book from Cretius, right?
I didn't know that, but now I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You probably aren't in like good relationship with that guy.
Probably not, right? Mathis?
Say that again. Sorry, I was reading.
Cretius? I'm not in good standing with Cretius.
This isn't really in good standing with anybody. He's a grumpy
Yeah.
fucker, and he's friends with only a couple people.
He's grumpy. Is he friends with anybody?
Jackson, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Jackson's also a butthead too, so.
Still kind of a reasonable guy. Cretius, not so much. You know, I think he's the only person. I don't know. I don't remember. Out of game, was it? Did he put his hands on Ava or did he put his hands on Dakota?
Precious?
Yeah, when he was like, I could kill you right now. Like he put his hands on like their throat. It was either Ava or
Might have
Dakota. I
been
can't
Ava.
remember.
Yeah, it would have been Ava, I think. Because I don't think it ever happened to Dakota.
No.
I can't remember.
Dakota would've-
It was in that basement.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the day that Dakota offered up to be mind controlled to get the truth out of them. And
Oh,
Ava
that's
said
right, yes.
and Ava said some shit before that didn't land very well in Cretius's ears.
Yeah. Yeah, and he like rapid fire was like, boop, I'm on your throat. I could end this right now.
Because Ava was doing Ava and being
Doing
Ava.
Ava. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a Toreador in a Ventry meeting, like
Yeah.
Hmm.
Also, I think you should probably just leave Layla alone.
Why?
She's not good. Bad things follow her.
Right. No offense. But I'm really fucking tired of people telling me what I should and shouldn't do.
She kidnapped Needles. I know you said Needles is fine now, but I'm just telling you.
Yeah, she did. She did kidnap Needles. Needles stayed alive, courtesy of some sacrifices. Honestly, necessary cracked eggs. They're gone now. And I think it's honestly for the best, because this world is a lot brighter of a place without Genghis, without fucking... I don't even remember who all else, but she hasn't hit Vitel yet, and that's a problem, because that's the one that she has to hit.
I see. All right, well, just keep me out of it.
I assure you she wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, she might. Me and her were not at good odds.
How do you know, Layla?
She kidnapped Needles. How many times do I have to say that?
Remember, because Emmy
Okay.
had business with Needles. So
That's great and all, but you
I was
never
supposed
said
to keep him safe.
you never said that you met her.
Well, met her, had someone get kidnapped by her, whatever.
That's not potato, Emmy. Okay,
And he
all right, well,
shrugs.
she's the only oppositional force outside that can get away with the things that I can't do. Because at least if I end up doing it, then I have to come up with a series of lies to cover my own ass. Whereas if there's SI patrolling around the city outside of my control, what the fuck am I going to do? I can't do anything about it. They're not doing anything about her.
Well, lies just catch up to you.
I'm going to catch a case eventually.
Have you done a lot of lying?
I've had to do a lot of bad things to get this far.
Haven't we all?
yeah,
Some more than others. Grant,
you're not alone, boss. I'm here. You feel a hand on your back.
thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
So
Well-
about that conversation we had with Emmy.
You had a conversation with
Yeah,
Emmy?
yeah, we had it. I just want you to know, be upfront. I don't want to, I don't want to keep anything from you when you're in bear attack daddy mode. You know what I mean?
He told me about your plan for Grant. You know the play you were talking about?
Yeah.
You can give me the details about it.
Yes. Did he tell you that we had to seek permission from the prince to sire such as the rules of the embrace?
Yeah, yeah.
Did he tell you that?
I may have forgotten.
Okay. Did he tell you that we had to get approval from the prince on who would sire him?
Details.
Did he tell you about the sacrifices that we're going to have to make, that I have to potentially assume the role of primogen in the city?
See, but there's the good part. If we do it this way, you don't have to do that anymore.
And that I also have to keep the labyrinth prison for myself?
Right. Again.
And that if you get embraced by someone that's not the two pre-approved people, that they'll kill you, potentially me as well, because I am your spokesman.
Yeah, I didn't think that far ahead.
Yeah. No, I didn't think so.
We
Do you still want to do it?
Grant, she looks at Grant.
He's like, we can figure it out another time, maybe. There's a lot of, details that I want to think about before I make my decision.
She nods and like winks at him.
I'm going to lose my fucking
I
mind.
thought so.
I don't know what to say. I feel kind of awkward. I'm going to,
What are you thinking about, Ollie?
I am going to find a strong black huntress. That's what I'm going to do. She is patrolling the streets somewhere, and if I leap tall buildings fast enough, maybe she will see my suit as I glide through the air, because I'm losing my fucking mind.
Maybe you should
Something
take a
Batman.
breather.
Ollie leaves. Ollie leaves before he fucking loses it.
He looks to you as you're leaving, back to Emmy, back to you, back to Emmy. Should I grab my shotgun and follow him?
I don't think so. I don't think you'd be able to keep up with him anyway.
Fucking goddamn it. That's why this is the problem. This is the problem. And he just walks away, mumbling to himself. And
Emmy just grins and turns the book back around and starts reading it.
Okay. You start going through it. I'll give you a little bit more in a little bit here. As you go about to start reading it, that's when we cut. Hard cut to a familiar park about 30 minutes later with Dakota trudging her ass up to the front door. You just like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know where this is. You went to Ollie once, even though you didn't go inside.
No, she did go inside.
I did.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay,
remember
my bad,
because
my
I
bad.
left the book open for her to
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yep.
yes. That's right. Yep. So as you knock, a couple minutes and the door opens, and this time it's just this time it's like a middle-aged woman, and she's like, "Man, we're very busy tonight," as you can hear her say before she opens the door.
understand.
Oh.
But I have
Hi.
a delivery for Sunshi.
We are not a charity house.
I said delivery.
I'll take it to her. And she gives you a very pleasant smile and holds her hands out.
As kind as that is, this is when I think she's going to want me to hand deliver.
So many people. Can I get your name?
Tell her Dakota Rain is here.
I'll let her know. Okay. And she shuts the door on you at that and disappears for a while. About 10 minutes pass before the door opens again. That same woman greets you with a pleasant smile. You can come in and take a seat on the nearby couch over to your right as you walk in.
Excuse me. As I
She
like
steps out
kind
of your
of,
way. Yeah.
kind of push through. I don't shoulder check her, but I emotionally shoulder check her.
Sure. She as you sit and she makes sure you're comfortable. Can I get you anything? Water?
Nope.
She nods and takes that hint and leaves. You sit there for about 15 more minutes. Alone. Nobody walks into the room. You just sat there. And then the door opens.
While I'm sitting here, can I make a quick peep at her library again, or
Are
what's
you
on
looking
the
for anything in particular?
what's
Because I feel
on
like you
the
did this last
table?
time too.
What's on the table that she's currently got open?
Table's cleaned. Nothing there. No books.
Oh. Then let me
This is
just
like
make
a
can I
front
just make a
room.
general investigation check for anything out of the ordinary?
Wits
That's what I will do.
investigation.
I'm not gonna.
The question is, what do you consider out of the ordinary in a Tremere library?
Dakota will know it when she sees it.
Okay.
Maybe not, because this is
No,
gonna
no,
be
it's
a
fine.
really
Make a
high
roll.
roll. But we're
You roll
gonna
really well.
Why not? I rolled a single success.
To you, though, like all these books are weird. None of them. Doesn't seem to be an organization style that makes sense. Not alphabetical. It's not historical. The fuck is this even? None of it makes sense. Why are we going from ancient Rome to modern day occultism? It doesn't make any sense. So as you go through and you over those 15 minutes, eventually you're interrupted as the door opens and in walks Sunshi again. Much as always, she gives you a gentle, like pleasant smile, and she's like, I was not expecting more company from your coterie.
I'm sorry to intrude. I'm sure that you've had enough of the loud ones for this evening, but Ollie came back in.
Yeah, I was rather frustrated with my answers.
Yes, frustrated is the right word. Frustrated. Um, I came to make good on what he promised. And to see if you couldn't use a break, from the average every night conversation.
I'm rather busy. I don't really have time for small talk.
I wouldn't call it small.
Okay. I am all ears as she sits down in the same chair she sat when Ollie visited.
Dakota pulls the 2 pages from
Yeah.
the back pocket and holds them up in her hand, kind of waving
Yep.
a little bit. I know these are really important to you.
They've lost value now that the rest of the pages are missing.
I imagine just a momentary problem.
I hope so.
I put them down on maybe the table in between us.
Yep.
Right? So she knows I'm
Two
not holding
watches.
them hostage necessarily. And I gotta slide them over. And then all I want in exchange is a moment of your time.
She maintains a very proper posture, and her eyes like follow you as you put the papers down and then back up.
I heard through the grapevine that you're a bit of a intellectual.
It's the gift of the Tremere.
0 doubts. Which means it's a lot harder for me to achieve the same ends. Academically speaking. I thought maybe you would take some time out of your busy evening to sit here and talk a little philosophy with me.
Philosophical debates at a college level do not interest me.
I didn't say a debate.
You speak as vague as Ollie did.
Oh, don't worry. We're about to get really specific.
You have my attention for the moment. Continue.
I imagine that you read a large selection of books so that when you come across something out of the ordinary, you're able to put it into perspective.
Certainly.
I came across something, and it sparked my interest.
So you're here for a tutoring?
I'm here to get your opinion.
You still have time?
Say you are a powerful ancient kindred. Thousands of years. Say roughly 3,000.
Okay.
You move in to a tribe to take over and need a loyal subject along the way. So you assure he is loyal by asking him to slaughter his entire tribe in a feat of loyalty.
Unnecessarily primitive ask?
Well, 3,000 years ago, some would consider that primitive.
Where is this going, Miss Rain?
Are you in a hurry?
No, I'm curious where this allegory is taking me.
Well, then let it be process and not product, please. You prove your loyalty, you slaughter the tribe. And we know history repeats itself over and over again.
Without education, ignorant people make ignorant mistakes, and there's a pattern.
But what about kindred?
Same. Perhaps even more so.
Say that history is repeating itself now.
Is there a tribe you're concerned of?
It was that name in that book. That moment, something stood out. You just know it on the page. A piece of history that is so actual that it is supernatural. I saw a name. Ontai.
Let me make a roll real quick. Make sure I get the pool correctly. Let's see.
like holding my breath.
70 pool, yeah, 70-10. I get to. Oh, that's awful.
Wow,
Three,
that was
1, 2, 3.
bad.
God, I'm not even like what.
She got any willpower? Does she
He
care?
has like a million
I'm not
dice.
gonna willpower. No, she's not really like. I'm not gonna do that. She just kind of like shrugs her shoulders. Not familiar, unfortunately.
That's okay. It stood out to me on the page, right? And I thought to myself, if you are an ancient kindred and can in actuality repeat history over and over again, at some point you will have to change your name. The fable, as it is now, is not the truth of what it once was. So, you pick a new moniker, something close enough to hold nostalgic value, but not too far away. And then you feed it down the chain to those that you need to repeat your history. Someone say, like Ava Heloise.
Miss Serene. To the point.
Some conversations don't have to have a point, Sunshi. You just have to enjoy them.
She smiles. History is an infinite well of ignorance to be removed. I am unfortunately not familiar with this. You called it a parable, was it?
As it was fed to Ava Heloise.
Mm.
Thus my connection with, say, the name I found.
It's certainly an interesting one that I imagine was phrased as, if phrased the way you provided, simply sounds like a lesson to be learned from it, like most parables.
But the most important thing about history is who's telling it.
Agreed. It is why, even among our own,
That parable.
debate about the antediluvians or our very existence is constantly debated.
But what about the person who watched it all happen?
If it was a kindred to have performed it, it's not out of the question.
The one who walked away.
Mm-hmm.
What if the history he's repeating is not his winning night of gaining his leading follower? What if it's his failure that's repeating itself? The story of Otai was not told to Ava Heloise by Otai himself, but by his most distrusted follower.
And you are concerned for Ava?
No. Ava Heloise has made her choices.
Do you believe this individual that you are referring to is Otai, you say?
No.
Or you said Ontai initially.
Like I said, history changes to fit its needs.
Are you leading me
within
to
a
believe that
name.
you think they are still alive?
I am not leading you to believe anything.
What is your inquiry about them then? Is it possible that they're still alive? Yes, if that is your question.
So, hypothetically speaking, history is repeating itself. And this Otai Ontai figure, we'll call him for literary sake, is going to slaughter another tribe. Currently, there's only one building tribe in the city of Chicago, truly given a place by the prince herself. But I'm sure you already know that, too, right?
I'm trying to piece together what is happening in the moment right now. Are you believing Ava is taking a role of who Otai was in this parable?
I wanted your opinion, remember?
But you prevent to me multiple things. One is potential that they could be alive.
Yes.
In my opinion, yes, of course they could be. It would be rare. And they're likely not going by that name. Very few are so audacious to maintain their name from ancient times, except for maybe perhaps Cretius. but the man is ornery. If they are not, or something has changed, and you believe that this parable is something that is being repeated in a literal sense, and this otai is utterly necessary for it, it's also possible that they are replacing it with otai is more less of a person and more of a symbol for the individual that is being represented.
In the end of my delightful little read, there was one more name that came across my page.
I am all ears.
And this is actually the one I need your help with. Montano.
Wits insight.
Okay, I'm gonna rouse. Wits. Insight. Oops. Oh man. Damn, I'm gonna willpower that.
Okay.
Using so much willpower today.
Hey, it's one of those.
I know, I don't get to
episodes.
do it very often, but I'm gonna reroll a 3. Yeah, 2 more successes, so
More
4.
You're not sure. You catch that there's a change. Her eyes widen a little bit, much like usual when you roll like an wits insight and you just kind of make it. There's a recognition, certain. It's brief moment, but she does continue the conversation. The name is vaguely familiar. I might be able to help you with that, but there would have to be an exchange in turn.
Oh,
And you, Miss Rain, surprisingly, have an offer or an in with something I perhaps would like to learn more.
really?
The lupine.
I have no such connection with the lupine.
Of
I try to
course not.
avoid them at all costs.
Of course you do. And I would love you to continue avoiding them. But if you could find one that would be willing to meet with me, then perhaps I can provide you much more information on the name Montano.
You know, considering the fact we just had a wonderful little conversation about history tending to repeat itself, I'd think that the smartest of all the kindred would know that bringing a lupine into your home is a really bad idea.
She nods, and one assuming that I am just a typical kindred, living amongst the Camarilla as my own.
Maybe
Would
so.
She shrugs and leans back. Lupine have their value, even to kindred. You're aware of that.
I
I'm
am.
aware of that.
But here's the thing, Sunshi. I didn't come here to make a deal.
Well, I'll leave it on the table then. She stands up. Know that I am familiar with the name Montano. And it is a lot to it you may be interested in. She smiles.
Do you know why I decided to spend my second life working really fucking hard to be able to read?
Guilt for being a fuck up in your first life.
Oh,
And I don't mean that. She holds her hands up and she looks genuine. She's like, and I don't mean that in a inflammatory way. A lot of us come from dire straits.
yes, well, privilege makes you forget that oftentimes it's not your fault, it's the system's.
She does, and she actually nods in agreement. You and I see equally there, as Mr. Hopkins and I did as well.
I did it because you, above all people, I imagine, would know that knowledge is power. But I did it because I believe knowledge is the one thing that is free. And I'm not going to trade you for knowledge. Not even you are that powerful, Sunshi.
She gives you a smile. Can you give me one more wits insight?
Okay, yeah. I will not rouse for
And
this
I'll give
one.
you the difficulty out up front. It's a difficulty 5.
Okay, maybe I will rouse. You know what? It's been going well so far. Okay. Well, you know what?
You're hungry too, though. It's not so bad.
There is a very slim chance I will make this. Slim. Oops. Gotta reroll it. Fuck. Wits. 2. Nope. I only got a 3. I could reroll the 2.
You could.
All right. I will use my 4th dot of willpower today, and I will reroll 2 of them. Nope.
You tried?
Nope.
She stands and she smiles as she unclasps her hands. Miss Rain, it was an odd pleasure speaking with you this evening.
Same, Sunshi. I imagine since you're all business, this may be the last time we speak.
It'll be entirely up to you.
No. I think it's up to you. And as a personal free bit of information, upsetting Oliver Hopkins is a really bad idea. And I don't mean that as a threat, Sunji. I mean for everybody in a 20-mile radius.
She shrugs. I've seen Bruja with a hotter temper than him.
Maybe. But you've never seen Oliver Hopkins in a rage.
She smiles. And you've never seen me angry.
Ugh. Sunji, do you think I came here not knowing that you're a bit of a... What was the word that was used? Psychopath?
She smiles. I make amends to atone for my sins. Do you?
Every day.
Then there are similarities. Common ground.
But not quite enough, right, Sunji?
She does shake her head. Not quite.
Well,
Enjoy your evening, Miss Rain.
don't choke on all the dust in there, Sunji.
She turns with a small grin on her face from you saying that and walks out. After you leave, of course.
I will take my board down all like 12 steps or however many. Like, I want you to hear my board like clack, 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 clatter and draw attention. Like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you eventually leave after getting an eye or two from a few of the adepts hanging around. And as you leave, you make your way back to the Lights Out Pub, where Ollie and Emmy are...
Hey, guess what I know?
Ollie's. If the time didn't change much,
Ollie's not
there.
there.
It's like 45 minutes.
Wait,
have
where's-
been by.
Where's Ollie?
He went to go find somebody.
Who?
I think probably Layla,
Why?
because he's crazy.
Grant's
I
like,
already
I
told him that
offered.
too.
I said, should I follow him with a shotgun? Yeah, he went to go find fucking Layla.
Okay, everybody fucking stay here, bunker down, and just don't go anywhere. Dakota runs for the back door, changes. I am gonna regret this. I change into hawk form.
As you leave, you hear Grant shout, "Do you think he's just been hanging out with Ava too much?"
God damn it. I bones crunching. I take off as fast as I can. I have to find Ollie before
Ollie.
he gets to Layla.
Where did you go?
The last place I met her, where she hit me with a classic Mr. Hopkins on the street.
Sure. Are you like leaping around, or how are you getting there? Are you actually
Ollie,
like?
he's walking. There's no jog about it. He's not like.
Did she give you a way to contact her? Isn't it a payphone, or is that somebody else? That was the other guy, right?
That was Scarlet.
Oh, Scarlet.
And the Sabat
Oh.
also gave us a payphone number.
Yeah, the Sabat are different. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. She said that she's got eyes. She would know when I was around.
Yep. I just wanted to make sure I was mixing them up. So you make your way there, and you just kind of hang out. Grab a seat at like a bench on the street.
Yeah. It's probably
how long do you
spread as possible, like elbows on knees. Just
I'm not saying it's going to be a long time, but is there like in Ollie's mind, does he sit down and go like,
he needs to calm down. Like he needs to fucking woosah, rub the earlobes, meditate, channel as much Dakota Rain as possible because he's fucking losing his mind right now. Ava's gone. The end with Sunshi is on the fritz. Grant is trying to like double deal behind his back, and he's just fucking losing it.
Dakota, depending on how well you roll, either you'll find him first or she will. Your call. Depending on your roll and your wits. It's a wits investigate because you're looking for him.
Oh yeah, not wits awareness. Okay, well, it's still better than my flat roll.
Hey, nice.
So, not by much.
How much willpower do you have left?
At 1 between me and the bird. Yeah.
Yeah. So you stick with that. That's fine.
I'm gonna have to stick with 2.
Okay. Ollie, you're there for like 30, 40 minutes or so. Before a gentleman kind of sits down next to you. He sits for a while. You probably look over for a minute too. He looks just kind of like he's relaxing. Maybe he's a little drunk. It's hard to tell. At one point he reaches in and pulls out a pack of cigarettes and goes to put one in his mouth, then looks over and he offers one to you.
No, I gave it up.
He shrugs, pops it in his mouth, and puts it in his pocket. And you see him bring up a matchbook, and he strikes the match and just kind of lights it. What was your story, dude?
Everything's shit.
Welcome to Chicago. New?
Everything is. No, I'm not new. I was born here.
Oh, you should be used to it.
I am, but man, these days it just feels like it's shittier. There's only a couple of bright lights, right? Like it's always your nearest and dearest, but it seems like everybody is so content with sticking their fucking head in the ground, or just eating the shit that everyone else is putting into the world. And I'm, it's just been a bad day.
He nods. He's like, sounds like the White Sox, man.
It's like the Cubs are doing any better.
He shakes his head. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry you had a bad night. He offers you a drag off of his cigarette. You sure?
I'm sure. Old habits die hard, but that's not certainly one I want to pick up. My old man had it real bad.
He kind of shrugs and takes another drag.
What about you?
He goes, well, the important thing is your loved ones are good, right?
I think so. I mean, they're still kicking, right? That's got to be a good thing.
He gives like a smile. You can see a little bit of his yellowing teeth a bit when he does so. And then you got a reason to wake up tomorrow. Today
Yeah,
was
man.
shit,
I'm trying to hold on to that.
tomorrow ain't gonna be worse than today, probably. And if it is, if you make it to the end of the day and your loved ones are still around, then you did something right? Take it from somebody. He puts his hand on your shoulder and he's like, just take it from somebody who lost his family a long time ago. No matter how bad it gets, if you got them, it ain't so bad.
You're not wrong.
I know, but it doesn't really matter if I'm right or wrong. When you're pissed off, logic goes out the window.
I mean, I guess I'm trying to keep it together. That's all.
My story's boring. Late night at work, grabbed a beer, got yelled at, got threatened to be fired, going home, still got my job. Ain't so bad.
You're one of the few. I know it's idle chatter, but like, you know how rare it is for people to stop in the city and just listen.
Yeah, no. There's a couple bars I could recommend where people will listen, but I can't guarantee they're going to remember anything you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Especially when...
Extend my hand as an introduction. Name's Ollie.
Oh, and he kind of like wipes his hand off, and he reaches out and he grabs yours, and he's like, Ted.
Hey, Ted.
And as he clasps your hand, he's like, oh, damn, you're cold. You all right? You need like a sweater or something?
It's bad blood flow.
Sorry about your night, man. Is it work related? Like, I got yelled at because I came in late yesterday because, my girl was sick. My girlfriend, she was sick. I was just making sure she was good. I got late, got yelled at.
I mean, it's yeah, let's just say it's work related. I feel like
got your job.
Every part of my life is work though, right? Like it's not like I need a fucking hobby. I used to have hobbies. I don't really have a lot of hobbies anymore.
Yeah. Sometimes work just eats your life up.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can put in 50, 60 hours in a week. It feels like I just lost an entire week of hanging out with the people I give a shit about. But bills at the end of the day are bills, and inflation is a bitch.
So what do? You know, what makes you happy?
Yeah, he like pulls a cigarette out and he points with the cigarette and he goes, out that way. I work in the dump.
Oh, that makes you happy?
I won't say it makes me happy, but it pays all right.
Yeah.
And somebody ain't got an education. It's one of the best things I could get around here.
Hey, you're looking at a high school dropout.
Yeah, and it seems to be more common nowadays. But it works.
So.
Yeah, I don't like the smell, and I smell like shit when I get home, but I can shower, I can pay my bills, and keep the lights on. And I get to hang out with the love of my life as much as I possibly can when I'm not working. It's not so bad.
I suppose there are worse things.
What about you? What happened to you?
I I run a bar. You may have even been to the bar, maybe not. It's a little hole in the wall, but it's like everything that I've worked for in life. It's called the Lights Out Pub.
He's like, I like the name. Ain't heard of it before, but doesn't mean I can't visit it.
Yeah,
So that makes sense though. Oh, because you're an entrepreneur. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That my buddy tried to start like his own freaking like weed business kind of thing, and it didn't really work out.
hard.
And he put his whole life into it, man. He gave up a couple of years of his life, and yeah, and it sounds familiar.
Yeah, I used to be a boxer, and there's nothing that feels quite as good as like a post fight drink. And those moments, they're kind of bittersweet, you know. You get to let the facade fall, and you wore out. You just got the shit beat out of you, even if you came out the victor, and you just get a cold brew. And it's kind of nice. It's one of the few pleasantries of life.
And as Ted goes to respond, he's like, "Yeah, you actually can hear the squeaking tires of the bus that's going to the bus stop down the road." And he's like, "Maybe next time. Hold that thought, and maybe I'll see you at the Lights Out Pub. You said you own it, right? So
Yeah, come by. I'll get you a drink, Ted.
yeah. He stands up and he just kind of claps you on the shoulder. Chin up, man. Sun will be up tomorrow, and everything will be all right."
Thanks, Ted.
And as he walks away, and you see him clamber onto the bus, and you hear the bus doors close. As it begins to roll away, you can actually feel a little creak next to you. And as you look over, Layla. She's leaning back, slouched a bit, legs crossed. Jesus Christ, I didn't think you guys were going to shut up.
Sorry, park bench talks, they can go on a while.
You make yourself pretty obvious.
That was the last place I saw you.
How can I help?
I was hoping that you may have found any information on one of those names.
Yeah, we made a deal. You gave me names. I told you I'd take care of them. Sometimes things just take time.
Okay, well, that one name, that one last name, it's a big one.
Yeah, it's hard to track down, but not impossible.
He's got some history. He's apparently old.
Okay.
He's a problem. To no surprise. We've caught wind of some of your handiwork. I know that I've heard it from your mouth, but when it hits the news, it's a little bit of a different story. So.
Remind your kind who's in charge here.
Sure. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Because we certainly aren't in charge. Look, history, it's got a way of being loud, right? Even if it falls into a book, it's got a way of being really loud. And Chicago's always been a bright light for everything, right? It's the birthplace of crime, basically, right? We've got the Chicago Convention for the mobsters and gang-affiliated activity. This place is a hotbed for violence.
Certainly is.
Which in turn means that there's more people like you and like me here. This guy, Vitel's got to go. Because the violence that is spreading because of his touch is way, way beyond the scope of what I previously was aware of. And what's coming from him. It's cartoonish, Layla. It's not mentally fathomable by a normal mind. The body count is absurdly high.
Okay. Do you have any information as to where I could be looking? Because at the moment, I'm tracking him, but again, difficult man.
I could tell you where he was last spotted. I could tell you where he had gone.
May help. I'm all ears.
Little town outside of Chicago, probably about an hour and a half away, called Madison.
Madison, yeah.
Yeah, he was last.
I have somebody out there right now.
Was last spotted there, and then he got brought back here.
She wags her finger. Maybe you can help me with this, actually. Madison's been getting a bit more activity lately. Not necessarily from your kind, but it could be. If you're bringing it up, maybe it is, and that would make a lot of sense. A lot of reports of crime's gone up, but it's nearby Chicago. This is going to sound silly, but a lot of people reporting feeling like they're being stalked, watched, even a bizarre, like poltergeist style haunting or two. I ring a bell. And I'm talking past 6 months or so. Can't pin down the exact start date. Not really something I care too much about.
Yeah. Yeah, I have reason to believe that in the last 6 months there's been a dramatic shift.
That would track. Do you know
So,
why and what
are
it
you-
is?
You familiar with any of the presence, the kindred presence in Chinatown?
Oh, I believe you and I even had discussions of Chinatown.
And it was pretty thin, right? The kindred presence in Chinatown was thin.
Yes.
Well, we were told by our higher ups to not go in there. And there's a reason that every time we got close, it would make us fucking woozy. We were sick. Nothing was good. We were losing control of ourselves.
And now
Well-
you're believing that that is what's in Madison?
That presence has been moved. And I think I have reason to believe that it's in Madison. And I don't think it's street level.
You see you're clearly like filling in some puzzle pieces. Yeah, it all tracks. You think it's this Vitel is there is the reason.
Oh, I think it's a whole lot more than Vitel. I think it's the one who is commanding Vitel.
Again, I want to say I'm surprised, but the way you work, there's always somebody who's doing something for somebody else.
Look, I don't like a lot of the circumstances here either, right? I've been using the methods that I can with the gifts that have been provided so that I can eliminate some of the same threats that you're chasing down too. We may not see eye to eye on everything, and we may be of different worlds, but there is an end, a means to the end here, and things just aren't right, and some of the odds have to be evened, even if I am what I am.
She kind of
Enemy
just,
of my enemy, right?
she looks you up and down as you're saying that, and just kind of gives like tilts her head a little bit and chews on her tongue for a second. Yeah, I'm starting to see where my boy got a lot of his drive.
Yeah. He was an old
I-
chip off the old block.
A passionate boy. I mean, I appreciate it, right? That's some information that I might actually be able to hone down the search that you put me on, which I would have done freely, just made it a little bit easier. But now I want to know a little something from you. I knew keeping in touch with you would bear more fruit. And I was right. You're harboring somebody.
I am.
You might not know you're harboring this particular person, but you are.
Okay, elaborate.
Come now. Emmy,
Okay, yeah. No, I know who Emmy is.
yeah, she's in your bar. I'm aware.
Sure. What about her?
She's a problem. Has been.
Okay. Would you say that I thought that you said that that's an all kindred thing. We're all problems.
Mhm.
What sets her apart?
There are priorities, of course. Are you aware of her grip outside of Chicago itself and how she had such control, such power? You know, she masquerades and pretends to be a kid of a family. An absolute disgusting, vile parasite who's weaseled her way in to a family with an actual child and has taken them over. This isn't the first. It's not the second, and it's not the third. It will not be the last. You want to do good for this city? Rip the cancers out of it that you have sitting in your bar. Or let me do it. I know you have a squeamish stomach.
Getting real sick of people talking about me like they know me.
Then do it. Do it for me. Maybe you don't know that this is what she's doing, or maybe I'm giving you information. Then take it freely.
No, I didn't know. I
Now you
didn't
know.
know.
Now you know.
I appreciate the heads up. But as
Can't
opposed
quite-
to can we remove the horse blinders from the situation here? Everything that you've just told me about Emmy still pales in comparison to what Vitel is doing.
And it's hard to focus when the one I'm speaking about is causing chaos on her own outside of the problem. I
You
can't
really
have
are a cat, aren't you? She's the laser pointer. I get it.
You don't. She shakes her head. Perhaps you do. Perhaps you don't. Emmy has a history.
Wait. Did Emmy bring you to Chicago?
She brings her eyebrows together.
You've been following her. You realize her grip elsewhere. Are you
course.
here because you were tracking Emmy?
She kind of like furrows her brow. I guess a logical leap, but no.
Well, it's not entirely because of me.
What brought me to Chicago was the loss of my boy.
You know, it sort of sounds like your boy wanted to get to know his dad.
Certainly wanted to get his hands on you.
He had his chance.
And he
several
failed.
times.
And he failed.
And he didn't want to talk.
He had conviction. You know how hard that is to find. And she again points to you. And she points to you, and it's where he got it. You. I see it in you now. Look where it's taking you. Are you going to judge your boy for the same shit you're doing right now?
Of course. Every day in Chicago has passed judgment upon me. Every person that I meet on the street has passed judgment. You have passed judgment on me. You simply think that I'm just like literally everyone else.
Now, over time, you're the only one I've actually worked with in any sort of honest way. So I'd say you're a little different. But you're still what you are. You can't change that.
Okay. Sure, I get that. But you know the direct difference between you and me?
Sure, there's a lot, but I'm listening.
Aside from the obvious gender.
Yeah, obvious. Continue.
Sure. I was a parent. And I did everything in my power. And he couldn't escape the drain of Chicago. And if you were half the mother that you claim to be, then you would have told him to stay the fuck away from this place.
I admit I made a mistake. I didn't think his father would kill him. And if you hadn't, I imagine he'd still be here and I wouldn't be. Hands on the table, cards up front. I underestimated you. I was wrong. And I paid the price, and now I atone for those sins by taking care of the very thing I tasked him with doing. But for right now, you and I are on the same page. And Emmy is a cancer that is actively leeching off of a family that exists now. You do with that information as you will. I'm asking you to provide her to me. I am not threatening you with an attack. I have other things to take care of. However, it would make my life easier and yours moving forward should Emmy be taken care of. And we can focus. But if I have to keep putting out little fires of her little devious little plans that she's been causing chaos in areas that I need to take care of. Hard to focus.
Emmy is playing her role in removing the same threat that I'm trying to get you to focus on.
So, what do you propose then? Let her continue doing what she's doing?
I know. You're not. I can't stop Emmy from doing what she's doing.
I can.
Then can you, I know this is going to be hard to ask. Can you put her on hold for a minute?
She does kind of like take a sharp inhale.
I'm not going to stop you.
No. She continues. My primary concern with Emmy, beyond the issues she's caused, is the family she leeches from. They are innocent. They don't know what they harbor, and she's convinced them she is their child. It's hard to let that go. But you promise me.
I'll talk to my coterie. And I'll see where they land. And while I will not stop her, I can't stop you from stopping her.
She shakes her head. crosshairs will be off her back in the meantime until I hear from you again. Or it takes so long to hear from you again, I assume you just abandoned me.
But I can't imagine it'll be more than a couple of weeks because
She,
I'm still trying to target Vitale myself.
She nods. Put it in your hands first. Your offer I accept, rather, of you and your coterie speaking with her. Now you know the truth if she hasn't informed you. You have context to more of her actions. Do with that information as you see fit. But should she be alive, after the situation is fully resolved and we still walk these streets, we will need to make some sort of comeuppance for her.
She's a big girl. She made a bed.
Layla, as you say that, she gives you a nod and then immediately stands up and stretches out her hand to shake yours.
You've made it very resoundingly clear that we're not that close.
No, but you've made it resoundingly clear you keep to your word. And I told you I would do the damn same.
Then let's keep it at that.
She brings her hand down. Deal. I appreciate you. She turns and begins to walk away.
Ollie just buries his head in his hands.
You're left there for about 5 or 10 minutes before it. Dakota, you see him in the bench, just kind of hunched with his head in his hands.
I don't see Layla.
Nope, she's gone.
Dakota will fly to a nearby tree that maybe this bench sits under and kind of change in the tree so she's kind of sitting on the branch or whatever.
I mean, you probably hear something land in the tree, but the branch, but you're like, whatever. And like, then you hear a creaking and some snapping of branches as she changes shape. And then maybe you hear Dakota's voice be the first thing.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah. Yeah, why is everything on fire?
Well, because you came to a person holding fire and asked them for help.
But everybody keeps running with fire at us.
Okay. But we're not running with fire.
Emmy's dominating a family. She's masquerading as their child.
I imagine that was probably the case.
Dakota, there's a strong chance that she's doing to those people what Zach did to your mind. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's part of the reason that Layla's here.
Emmy?
She described Emmy as a cancer.
I've been called worse.
Same. But she's been watching her. Apparently she's known where Emmy's been the entire time, even went as far as to say that she's in my bar right now.
Ollie, do you know what the real problem is here? Why you feel worse? Because you came to talk to Layla, who uses every opportunity not to help you or to make deals with you, but to draw on your past in a way in which makes you feel bad about who you are. No matter what you do, you can't control Emmy or her decisions or choices. Just like you can't control Layla's. And you keep showing up here, expecting that some deal's gonna get made, just like with Sunshi, that's gonna make it all better. But it's not. You don't need their help to solve this problem. Or to do the right thing. Fucking Oliver Hopkins.
Just starting to think that the days were easier when people knew me as the butcher.
Were they, though?
People fucked with me a lot less.
Yeah, but if they're fucking with you, it means you're important enough for them to care.
What do I have to do to get people to stop trying to ring my bell? Do I have to drop the vest and just really be a bastard? Is that what I have to do? To just walk around Chicago and fucking remind people that I am of these streets too?
You know, Clyde wasn't a great person. Surprise. But on the occasion, when he wasn't in a fit of rage or having a PTSD moment, he would have a nugget of information. And he said, Dakota, when you realize that your whole life is actually a fight, and the space in between in which you go to war or get in the rink is the only chance you're going to get to enjoy it. You keep acting like you're trying to get out of the rink because life is outside of it, but Ollie, this whole fucking thing's a fight. If you don't get up every day ready to step in the rink, to fight for whatever's outside of it, what difference does it make? And I know that you fucking do. So what are you scared of?
The compromises I'm going to have to make in the lives that are going to get lost when I start throwing fists.
Well, that's because you fight for the little guy. And the fact of the matter is you wanted power, and you've gotten some, and with it comes all the bullshit.
I've never really thought that you and Ava were the little guys.
Well, I appreciate that, but Ava and I can also fight for ourselves. At what point are you going to wake up one day and ask yourself what Ollie Hopkins wants?
I don't know. I don't know if I get that. I don't know if I'm afforded that.
Why not?
Well, when does Dakota get what she wants?
I've already getting what I want. And I have good news, but I'll share that at the end. I think you're worried about all the wrong things, Ollie. Here's the thing. Something I learned tonight. Sunshi taught it to me. So blatantly. You don't always have to accept the deal, Ollie. That's actually the third choice. Just not making the deal. We don't need Layla to take out Vitel. We don't need her. You want her. And just like Cretius and Jackson, like little bugs in my fucking ear when I asked them about the Sabbat, they made the point, which is any contact with them at all is not going to end good. You keep coming back to her like she's going to offer you some olive branch, and she's not. She sent your son here to die, whether by your hand or somebody else's. So she takes out Vitel, great. So she doesn't. You don't have to make a deal with her. In fact, probably do more damage if you just fucking ignored her.
I don't keep meeting with Layla so I can try to guide her. If she does good, something that's valuable to us, that's useful. I keep meeting with Layla so I can see the damage she's done. So when I do meet her in the ring, I have every reason to raise my fists.
I would say you have every reason already. But you don't seem to want to fight her.
I'm tired.
Fuck, I hear that. We don't even technically sleep anymore. Think about that.
You know what? I don't even know if it's me who's tired. I think it's my patience. It's wore thin.
Then cut the shit wearing your patience then.
I'm gonna get in trouble, kid. I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble.
I didn't say kill everything that makes you mad, Ollie. I said cut the shit wearing you thin. If you're tired of Ava's bullshit, tell her she can't come to the bar anymore. You're worried about making these moral choices when really you're just talking about making the hard one.
If I just did everything that felt right, I would burn that fucking book. That's the first thing that I would do. Because it has done nothing but caused each of us a headache. To say the least, a headache.
Maybe, But we are slowly getting rid of it. Plus, I now know what Sunshi really wants.
Oh, fuck her, man. I'm so done with her.
Hear me out. She doesn't give two flying fucks about that book. Not in any way that really matters. What she wants is a lupine.
Okay, so she's also an idiot. That's great. She's a maniacal,
yes, that's
sociopathic
basically
madman who's an idiot.
What I said, but we're going to look at the bright side here, Ollie. Let's look at the piece we can take away from this. It's really nice to know what she really wants.
The thing is, she wants a lupine, but she's gonna make anyone else do all the hard work.
Well, not if we deliver it to her door.
How do you do that?
I have thoughts. But that's a plan for a different day. For like a wonderful summer evening as the sun is set and the moon is rising and we have nothing else to worry about. I guess what I'm saying is there's always something we can work towards, Ollie, and we don't need to help people who don't have our best interest at heart.
It is always you.
What?
That has been the point of clarity in this.
What can I say? Survivor instinct. Come on, get the fuck up. Get off this smelly-ass bench. Who was sitting here? Ugh.
Ted.
The fuck
What a
is
nice
Ted?
guy. What a nice guy. He's the first person outside of you and Ava who's asked me how I've been in a long time.
Well, I'm glad you met Ted, but do me a favor, don't come to this park anymore. And more than likely, Layla's now seen me, which, you know, she's really not ready for Dakota Rain, so let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Grandma's waiting on you, and you know what? Grandma may have some skeletons in your closet. They may look like a family of 4, but you've got a grandma.
I swear to God, if I find out that Ted is somehow related to Kindred whatsoever, if he's a fucking Lasombra, I will blow up all of Chicago. It will be mass genocide.
You touched his hand and it was warm. You touched his hand and he had a warm hand.
And I know that fucking Kindred can do that
okay,
too.
fair enough.
I don't know who this fucking Ted guy is and why he's under your skin, but I think you should
He's
let
not.
it go.
He's a solid dude, and I think he actually came from the dump, because he said he worked at the dump. And no self-loving Kindred would find themselves working a midnight shift at the fucking dump. So if a Ted comes to the bar and I'm not there, give that guy a drink on me.
Like every Ted?
I don't care until I see that guy again.
Okay, cool. I will make a note for the staff.
What are we gonna do with 2 beat-up goons? They're not gonna respect me. I slapped the fuck out of them twice.
Well, they'll respect me.
Okay, you can have them then, because they're just gonna be mad at me.
I don't want them.
Well, then what are we gonna do with them?
Let's see.
Ava's just gonna eat them. Or
I have an idea.
worse.
Emmy doesn't want them, right?
Yeah.
So I say we send them in the front door of the ivory tower as she makes her grand entrance from above as a distraction and just sacrifice them. Then they're not a problem anymore. And they're never going to really be able to figure out, you know.
All right, I see some of your end game, but I'm missing some steps in the middle, which is fine. That's fine.
Oh, I haven't told you my plan. Okay, so we're going to fly Emmy to the top of the ivory tower, let her in from the top instead of the bottom. And I was looking for a really good distraction, and I'm actually thinking sending the 2 goons in the front door is it. Emmy can give the grand speech of how she's going to give them a second chance and they can't fail and blah, blah, blah. You know what? It's a win-win scenario. They either beat it in the lobby or, you know, they survive and actually help Emmy get the fuck out.
You gonna put her in like an animal onesie or something? Because don't you think it's gonna be a little strange watching a hawk carry a 9-year-old through the middle of Chicago?
I'm stealthy, and Emmy didn't seem to have a problem with heights, so we'll fly above above cloud level until we need to drop down. The ivory tower is not, you know, a short building.
You may be stealthy, but the fluorescent neon cotton candy hair might stick out.
We'll put her in a beanie. I think what I'm saying is it's a solid plan and they'll never see it coming. Nobody's like, let me attack from the air.
I mean, you're not wrong, but what do you do about wards?
Well,
Surely you're not the only kindred that's thought about breaking into the ivory tower from the top.
Well, I told Emmy that part was on her. I don't have all the solutions. I've just got some inspiration. And after I drop Emmy off on the roof, I'm going to make a grand entrance with all the gangrel. Now, I've had another idea tonight.
I like your big brain.
I want to
You're
poke
cute when you're big
Sybil.
brain.
I would not call it cute, but I will accept that as a compliment. Thank you. I have an idea. I need to make sure Sybil really is more worried about the gangrel showing up at Elysium than she is about somebody stealing from the ivory tower.
Hey, it'd be funny if you could somehow convince the Sabbat to make an attack on the Elysium.
I'm hearing Cretius in my head calling me a dumbass again. I don't think
It's a two
working
birds, one
with
stone, right?
The Sabbat is a good idea.
Oh, you're not. You're getting a line out to the gangrel. You said you wanted to talk to the gangrel, right? And we need diversionary tactics.
Yeah, but so I'm just gonna let him show up and kill a bunch of the cam?
I don't know. Have them bomb the front door or something.
Oh my god, that seems like a mess. Plus, who's gonna pick Emmy up from the roof again?
I mean, if we all flee,
Yeah, she can't be left there on the top floor. She needs an out plan, and the plan was to like make a scene and then exit and go get Emmy.
okay. Well, I mean, what better scene than a Sabbat bombing? I don't know. Just saying.
Okay, not a horrible plan. They won't even talk to me. Technically, the gang will only have a few more nights to make themselves known, and they're gonna start a hunt.
Well, I mean, I don't think Ava's there to make the call, and you got the number, right?
I did take that from her so she could not have it for her own personal uses, yes. I did not trust her with it. I could make a phone call. I really don't think that's a good idea. I dumbass.
I don't know. I just want to see the piece on the table. That's all.
All right.
I'm a dumbass.
You're
Put
not,
it on me.
Cretius did not call you the dumbass. Can confirm. I'm just, what could we, when she announces the Elysium, I'm gonna have Ava start a rumor. One the Shadow will hear.
Do we even know if Ava's going to be back?
Well, here's to hoping. Optimism, Ollie. Fucking optimism. She always comes back, right?
She's like a really evil lost puppy.
I think we should probably tell Emmy to lay low since, the Layla is hunting for her.
Layla said she's going to take her sights off of her. Told her
Do
that I
you
would talk.
believe that?
No, but at least Emmy's not going to get popped.
I say anything we need to get done with him, we best get it done quickly, because Layla seems like the kind of lady that when she really puts her mind to something, there's no stopping her. And that includes even if she's inside the walls of your bar. Plus,
Yeah.
I need Emmy to keep up the ruse that, we didn't lose Celia.
Yeah, I got you.
Now, please get up. You look homeless sitting on this bench. It's just a sad sight for us. Just get up.
Why does point out another homeless person that wears this material? This is imported.
I didn't mean to judge your taste of fashion. I was just saying,
Well, Sunshi's goons also said I looked homeless, so I don't understand.
When did you start listening to Sunshi's goons?
Same time I listen to literally anything everybody that says at this point. It's an all the time. It's
You
a constant
need to
flow
wake
of.
up with a full breath, like just real fresh, deep breath of fuck it, Ollie. Who gives a fuck? Who cares what people think about you or whether that's imported? Who cares if Sunshi's goons don't like your outfit? You look nice in it.
Thank you.
You are welcome. And who cares if Emmy is maybe potentially holding a family hostage. That is not our business. And you know what is our business and the things we can control? Tonight we can go back to the bar and you can spend the evening with your grandma. Think about that. There's a little family time for you.
On the whole screen just goes dark. And on Ollie's frustrated, we'll call the episode. And we'll be back next week. We'll see where Ava is. A little return of Emmy what the next big steps are. You out of game, you got a big name. You got a big name out of that book. But in game,
and I know who I'm going to go
no
to
idea.
for it now. I just needed to see if Sunshi wanted to play, and she doesn't. So fuck her. I don't need her.
We're out of here. We're off to go do a mini-sode. Thank you again, Maggie, for coming back and being a guest and bringing Emmy back to life. Where can people find you if they want more of you?
I'm Margaret Crone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm doing a lot of tabletop stuff. There's going to be more things that I'm going to be doing coming up. So stay tuned for that. And I'm making games and video games. I'm currently working on a project called Ashes of Creation. And you can find it at Ashes of Creation in all the places.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. We'll see you next week, Maggie. We'll see all you guys next week. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye, friends.
Bye.